All right, we're back. OBS said, "You know what? I'm going to stop working." And I said, "Well, you suck." And I said, "You know what? You got a point." And it started working again.
Nice.
Do 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 do
So
do.
yeah, you can talk to Fran about more spells and Hollard. Larissa
Yeah, if we
says,
want to,
"Yeah, go ahead."
yeah, if we want to talk more about this, let's go find Fred and Hollard, who are at the communal area, which we'll just walk over to if that's cool with you, Vibri.
Sorry, I was posting that we're back in our Discord, just in case.
Oh, crap.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see what our options are.
Larissa
I have
says,
forgotten. What is the name of our guard friend from the beginning?
Chilnaeth.
No, the other one. The one that I made friends with. The hunter.
Oh, Emmett.
So in my mind, Emmett and Chilnaeth and the other people who have been involved in the town's defense are also probably listening in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guards are hurriedly running around. They're like boarding up windows. They're helping the villagers get arms. They're doing whatever they can do immediately to get people prepared to start getting defenses going. Like the entire town is rustle and bustle of movement. Like they just had a ritual, they just became under attack, and now they're learning that they're probably going to have to defend the entire village as well. And so there's a lot of activity right now.
Has anyone seen Granny Nolbane, by the way?
Yeah, you look over and you see she's got like a hammer and an apron on, and she's boarding up the windows to whatever, I guess, to her house.
Excellent.
I'd like to involve Nolbane in this process as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Whatever
Granny
you like.
Nolbane!
She, with nails in her mouth and a hammer in her hand, when she hears you call her that, she kind of looks down and then looks over at you.
Granny Nolbane, we'd like you to join our war planning party.
I mean, you're
Here, I have snacks.
Nobody has potatoes.
Let's see. I guess she needs a name.
Granny Nolbane.
No bane.
Okay,
Nolbane.
great. Yeah, no. Well, we're going with that. Fine, sure. Yeah. We'll call
She's
her.
never had any other name.
We'll call her GB Nolbane. She puts the hammer down, takes the nails out of her mouth, and goes, "Where do I sign up?"
Right over here. I believe actually our friend Fran has the parchment you need.
That was a figure of speech. What do you need from me?
Come on over. We're going to go talk to two wizards who are going to try and help us figure out how to hide a town, possibly.
Okay, sure.
So I guess we're all just gonna group around in the middle of town with plenty of room to draw on the dirt necessary and
Yeah.
start trying to discuss how to defend this town. And while this is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and start building a fire, pull out my little cooking thing, and I'm gonna start stress cooking.
Sure. Yep, you guys all group up and y'all are talking defense strategies. Larissa is drawing in the ground dirt with her saber. She's putting up palisade walls all the way around the town, just on the inside of the outskirts, if that makes sense. And there's talks of fire pits. There's talks of arming the citizens. And then there's talks of disappearing the town. And all eyes get laid on Hollard and Fran, who kind of look around nervously. And Hollard clears his throat. And Fran looks at him, and they share like a understanding. And Fran says, "Well, it wouldn't last very long, but potentially we could empower my invisibility spell to extend to just inside the outskirts of town. This would significantly shorten the duration, however, and it would cost a lot of spell slots, but it could be done.
In other words, and what is the duration? Do you know?
Um, she looks over at Hollard, who nods, and she says, well, a typical invisibility duration is 1 hour. The duration would be anywhere from 1 second to 30 minutes.
I don't think that would be enough to convince the gnolls to walk on.
Hollard speaks up. He goes, well, no, but we could use it in conjunction with all of our other defensive efforts to plant subterfuge, to divert attention away from the town itself. We could use this for any number of reasons. I can't hear either one of you. I don't know what's happening.
I am
Okay.
telling him. He's fixing it.
Okay, no problem.
We all look at Norhion expectantly, just waiting on bated breath for his response.
Yeah, while you guys are like gathered around, you see villagers are starting to come over too. They're bringing food to everyone. They're gathering around the center. They're holding hands. Some of them are practicing with their weapons.
I've begun to mash these potatoes with different spices from my bag, and then I pour it flat into the pan. And as I'm frying this up, it has the distinctive look of cheese.
Okay. The little elf girl from before approaches you, Vivre, and she's got a big white flower in her hands, and she says, "Where's the funny man?"
Hopefully he'll be back soon. He is walking back here. Undoubtedly with the flower you gave him.
She looks back down. She says, "Oh, okay. I was gonna give him my mommy." And she holds the flower up to you.
Oh, your mother is beautiful. I love her.
She's very pretty.
Just like you?
She blushes. Walks away giggling. Tee hee hee hee. Just like that. Literally exactly like that. It's weird. While you guys are
That's
all...
what's still not working.
What's going on?
No, it's not coming through at all.
It's a Discord?
No, it's definitely something with him. He may have something pulled up, which is pulling his mic.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure it out.
I'm trying to talk now. How's it working?
Yep.
It had a reset. I guess it lost the audio output from the thing that NVIDIA needed to feed in.
Bizarre.
That is what it is. Right. So, addressing Fran and
Hollard.
Yep, Fran and Hollard. Yeah, if it comes down to that, I've got other uses for invisibility. So, alternative to making the entire town invisible, what about if we make the entire town let fly?
Well, we run into the same problem. The duration will be significantly shorter. But it's possible. I mean, if you want the buildings to fly, not a great idea. We could... He looks over at Fran and motions for her to come over, and they start comparing notes again. You hear Fran start humming, like off tune, like And they said it's possible we could cast flight on a spell focus that would then redirect it to multiple people. We're not working with exact sciences here. We don't exactly have an unlimited source of arcane energy. But It's possible we'll hit most people, and we'll be able to fly for a little while.
But we flew the whole boat before. Could we not do that again? Could
If
we
we had a
evacuate
boat.
everyone? That might be the easy part.
I feel like we're dealing with a lot of what ifs here.
We have enough individuals to build a boat and to prepare the defenses, captains.
How many people?
So, when you guys first got here, there were dozens of people here. Living in this village, probably 50 to 60 people of various ages and expertises, etc., etc.
Hmm.
It's possible, but I mean, a lot of things are possible. We don't have a lot of time. A lot of us here
I say
are
we-
too infirm to work. There's a lot of elderly. There's a lot of young. Well, there's one young at least I know of.
Ren,
Hey, Adam.
are the sails a necessary component?
Fran says, well, the way I used them on the Quartermain was to gain a little bit of extra speed, but no, ostensibly no, they're not super important.
What if we, say, fashioned more of a raft?
Yeah, I could fly a raft. It wouldn't be very aerodynamic. I'm trying to slip into Hollard. I don't know if you can tell.
Yes.
It wouldn't be very
Again?
aerodynamic. It would be difficult to fly, but not impossible.
Would it be safe enough to fly just at least to the next place of civilization? We were close to the midway landing point, yes?
She says, I flew a ship of 13 people. You want me to fly upwards of 60? I just don't know. I'm willing to try, but can we stake the lives of that many on a what if?
Maybe as a last resort. I think it would be very easy to cut enough logs and bind them with vines together. But if we start to get overrun, lifting them up and out of harm's way may be the only option left.
Larissa speaks up. She goes, women and children first, huh? As a last resort
Possibly.
goes, that's probably one of the better ones that we have. I think our best course of action would be to work on several projects at once.
I'll work on Project Burn the Knolls.
We
I wouldn't
may
expect
also
any
need
less
to
of you.
find a way to make this town less flammable. Is there a ward against fire for these buildings? Is there a way to convert them from trees to perhaps stone?
Not without transmutation magic or some sort of fire-resistant magical items.
I look at Emmett. Do any of your people have any expertise?
Emmett says. Cross has gone to. Is he driving?
I don't know.
I know. I
But
assume.
he has about an hour AFK. So right now, Hildar is currently walking 3 hours back from scouting out gnolls. We are attempting to save this elven village from being overrun by hundreds of bloodthirsty gnolls who have somehow gained civilization enough to figure out how to burn things down.
Yep. So they're trying
three.
to protect 50 to 60 various age elves from hundreds of gnolls. You're not interrupting? What are you talking about? How dare you interrupt us, sir? Oh my
We
god.
interrupt ourselves.
Ban
Please,
him.
by all means.
Ban him, Vivre. No, it's fine. It's completely
Feel
fine.
free to ask as many questions as you'd like.
I have a new point redeem, Adam. You gotta check it out when you get enough points. It's super good. So yeah, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Emmett, do any of your people have any sort of expertise?
Oh my god, I can't believe that book. Hang on. Gotta
So
fix
for
that,
context-
and then I'm gonna replay it. Just give me a second.
For context, earlier, the gift that's supposed to go with that one was running for the roll for initiative one, and now it's reversed.
Oh my god, what the crap? Okay. Save. So now let me check. Because I was waiting for it to say, let's roll for initiative, and then it's all like, you know what? How about not that thing? And I'm all like, why?
While you fix that, I'm gonna take my headset off really quick, and Taryn's
Sure.
gonna grab me an ice pack.
Absolutely. I'll take a second. We've been going for 3 hours and 40 minutes at this point, so yeah, absolutely. Okay, it does. Is that? Nope. Dang it. Wait, maybe. And then. Yes. Alright, I'm going to play that for you now. So you can see what that's supposed to be. Oh, you saw it, you said? Yeah, that's what it is. Hang on, let me do it. Go. Yay! Okay, I actually fixed it this time. Yeah, so I did that dance just for the sound alert. Like, I sat here for 2 hours with Solar.
It's time to roll for initiative.
Well, if they're rolling for initiative right now, they're all going to die.
Oh
but,
no.
But yeah. So Solar and I sat down for 2 hours while she helped me time out that dance just right. And I actually learned how to do that, and then sat there, recorded it, and then turned it into a GIF and put it in my sound alerts. It was good
I
times.
told him he should do more anime dances.
She wants me to do. Okay. I guess I could put them on my shorts or something.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I would love to do the Haruhi Suzumiya dance, which actually is part of that Toka Toka thing.
Speaking of that, I've also been pushing Trog to make a throne gift list.
Okay, Adam.
Enjoy your lurk. So for anybody who is either listening in or watching on playback, you should definitely comment and tell him that he should absolutely make a throne gift list.
I do have one actually. It's not
but we
very
have to
long.
put it on your panels.
Oh yes. Should I link it? You think?
You can link it. But we'll make you some panel. I wanted to update your panels anyway.
Okay. Oh, I forgot the music. All right, there we go. Cool. Yeah. So what are we doing?
You were having Emmett answer on if any of his people have any expertise in transmutation magic, druidic magic, fire resistant items, anything like that.
He looks at you, mouth kind of half open, and says, "We fend for ourselves. We don't get travelers. Everything we do, we do right here. We don't have need for magic items. We don't have need for complex alchemy. The land provides for us, and we provide for it."
I pat him on the hand. Perhaps in the future, you may want to prioritize diversifying your defenses. Unfortunately, in the cases of creatures and wild magics, you can never be quite sure when you may need more.
He says,
Beaver, you could use the jug you've got to coat all the buildings with water every couple of hours, something like that, and that might help dampen the likelihood they'll catch fire.
You also have a handful of additional liquids that you could get from it that I will write down.
Yes. Well, right now we have water, goat milk, maple syrup,
Red wine?
mead. I believe Trog added red wine and piss.
And grape juice.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes. That is all we have right now.
That's correct. You've got
Alrighty.
2 more.
Which I'm holding on to see if we have massive need
Yep.
or
Or something accidentally happens, and I think it's funny.
well, that's how we got the grape juice.
Yep. And the piss.
That wasn't an accident.
Okay.
That was Hildar.
Yeah. Hyodor is
For
an
the
accident.
record. I am thinking. You
yeah,
can't
no
see
problem.
it, but I have my thinking hat on.
Fran has hers on too.
Fran, you can use create water as a cantrip, yes?
No, that's a first level spell.
Well, I don't know if I have enough time to change my cantrips.
So because this is going to be at least a day, I'll let you guys change spells accordingly. But if you need to start planning for something, I need to know what you're going to be doing.
I'm assuming there's a close by water source, right? From this town.
So I did mention that there was a stream from the mountains. Let's say that there's probably a couple of scattered streams. Yeah.
Because I could use shape water to move 5 feet cubes of water to coat buildings.
Okay.
Which would, I mean, the only problem is that and I can also freeze this water, by
Right.
the way. And
could make
the water
slippery
will
ground.
unfreeze in an hour. The only problem with this is that I would have to be doing this constantly to keep the buildings wet enough to not catch fire.
I was thinking of just kind of dousing them with the
It is an alchemy jug. Do you have any idea how long it would take? to
Yeah, it doesn't pour out at Mach 3. You know, it just kind of trickles out like pouring water into a glass.
It would pour at most as like you're pouring out a gallon of milk.
Yeah, that's
At
basically it.
most.
It even makes that air sound like blub, 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 blub.
Alternatively, can you make it rain?
With Create or Destroy Water, yeah, Fran says yes.
Hold on. I might actually have a spell for. I can cause freezing rain and sleet as a 3rd level spell.
How big of an
I
area?
could 150 feet and a 40-foot cube.
It's
So
not
up
bad.
to 150 feet in a 40-foot cube.
Okay.
And it is a 20-foot tall cylinder with a 40-foot radius.
That's intense.
Yes. I could also do tidal wave, and I could just destroy the whole village in the process.
Hey, no village, no problem.
Yeah.
Fran can make it rain 30 feet. Let me see if I can't give us a hand here. Come on, Hollard. What do you know? Okay. I like that. You can have that. So what
I
y'all's
can make
plan?
a 20-foot radius sphere of fog.
Yep. Hollard can magnify gravity. In 10 foot.
I can also create or destroy water. But shape water is a cantrip, which is why I was saying shape water makes more sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this brainstorming, not in voice, just because it can be hard.
Okay.
I can make a wall of water. Which is like the opposite of your firewall.
That's done. Ground the point then the wall's 30 feet long, 10 feet high, 1 foot thick. A ring wall. Oh, I can't go as long as the wall of fire can.
I mean, it's a wall of water.
Yeah.
I imagine that that's much harder than fire. You have to create it out of nothing. At fire, you're just combusting the gas that already exists. I could do erupting earth. So a fountain of churned earth erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on that point. So I can make like basically a rock wall.
Maybe we might be able to just make the trench naturally and just hopefully not have to deal with the fire in the village until we do. I don't know.
Larissa says we could put spikes in the trench as well.
Yes, and we can douse those spikes with red wine and we can set those on fire.
We certainly could. Who's got red wine? Who's been holding out? I need names.
I could make.
Fevery, what the hell? We've been here for 3 days.
Why do you need alcohol? This is hard enough.
She wipes sweat from her brow. I don't need it. I don't need it.
I pour her a cup of grape juice and hand it to her.
She pouts, says thank you, and drinks it. That was her, not me.
Well, if we're going to build the trench, we better get started. So, I guess while we discuss this, our characters can be actively using mold earth to.
Oh yeah, like
meticulously
guards are,
build.
you know, like I said, they're going around, they're boarding up stuff, they're getting ready. The people are sharpening sticks. You've got enough hands here to start doing things, right?
Yeah. So I mean, when Larissa and I had directed earlier to have a 30 feet gap between the edge of the town, but in a diameter around there to make that trench we were talking about with the sharpened sticks and everything that'll help prevent the fire from jumping from the trees of the town.
Yep.
I really don't know how we're gonna be able to hold off hundreds of gnolls.
So let's get creative.
What
Yeah. You got some magic at your disposal. You've got some military trained personnel here. You've got many hands, and you've got guardsmen. You've got about 15 guardsmen. They're not without weapons. Their weapons are made of wood, but I mean they still are functional. You do have some archery. You could build things. You could, like you're doing trenching, you could set traps. You've explored the idea of an escape shuttle. You've explored the idea of invisibility. All of these things are perfectly viable. How you use them and execute them could be, to your detriment or extremely effective. So I know how the assault's going to happen. What I need from you guys is how you intend to, do what you want to do to minimize or to eliminate risk.
So we'll get the trench, and then Larissa talked about getting palisade walls set up as well, which we could put the archers on top of.
Yep. Well, okay, so palisade walls are not like standing walls around. That would take a long time.
You could put a platform every so often for an archer.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. That sounds fine.
Use like a ladder instead of stairs. It'd be quicker to make a ladder than stairs.
Yeah, palisade walls are more for area denial.
And I think we should have several of the townspeople cutting back the trees, and what trees they cut down, we're gonna have them bring to the center to start fastening together some sort of like makeshift raft with like sides on it, so that if we go forward, the people don't just fly off.
Yep.
What if we? Is there a way to mold the earth on the for those streams so that one or two of them could be set up so that we like mold a pathway for the stream to go towards the trench, but we don't actually bridge that gap, or we don't bridge the pathway with the actual stream yet, but we have like a log or something we could drop into the stream by like cutting a vine or something, or doing something druidic, and then having that cause the stream to overflow to our thing, which would then flood the trench.
Technically, yes. Mold Earth can do that. It would take a lot of time because it can only be 5 feet at a time, and so with me and Fran doing it,
you'd have to dam like an area and fill it with water and have it like a reservoir.
Technically, though, we could also just have 5 feet of it not broken, and then whenever it's time, the last 5 feet get done through the cantrip of Mold Earth.
Yeah, we just have to get you. Well, I guess you have Path Without a Trace or something.
Yes. Which I can cast up to 3 times if I don't cast anything else. This is hard because since Cross isn't here, I imagine he would have the most expertise with traps.
Right. I mean, you can make pitfall traps. Those are pretty easy to do. Just dig a hole and cover it with leaves and sticks.
Put some spikes
in the bottom. Yep. Do you want to set those up? We can do that.
Do some of those.
I would also probably use Mold Earth to create the terrain to being rough terrain for a couple of feet, extending from where the tree line breaks up to the pit.
We'll scatter some sticks in that area too, so I can firebolt them from afar and light areas on fire.
Okay.
Without having to use flame wall.
So are you attempting to burn the forest proper?
Oh, I will at some point burn the forest proper, assuredly.
Okay.
I have one nice charge of a certain spell that will do that very well.
In the meantime, Vivri's going to make sure she has clippings from every grove that they plant.
Okay.
Because obviously we're going to need to frickin' populate
the earth. Let's see.
I guess we'll jury rig some kind of gate or door for the palisade wall that's on the main path, and in a town.
So I'm drawing this out as we're talking. Just
Okay.
So, we got some understanding here. Okay. Really should have used GIMP instead of Paint. That's alright. So I'm setting up the things you guys are saying. What was the last thing you said about palisade walls? A gate?
A gate.
In the palisade
Well, I
wall.
thought that this village already had like sort of fencing around it.
It does have like crude fencing that's wooden and has, is in various stages of rot and overgrowth. It's obviously not a big deal to them to have defenses set up. This doesn't seem like a place that needs to be defended very frequently. And if it does, it's something that they can easily take care of. This is an unprecedented event to them. The Great Mother did mention that they've had scuffles with gnolls in the past and had succeeded at thwarting them before, but this is more than they've seen in recent years. Her words, not mine.
I mean, I guess it wouldn't be hard to jury rig a gate there, but worst case, we can make it more of a door than a gate for the palisade wall or something like that.
Okay. What part of the wall do you want it on?
Whatever goes through the what passes for a trail in a town.
Okay. I'll put it on the southeast side, which is pretty much where you guys came in from.
Okay.
Oh, hey, the battle music started up by itself. That's funny. Let's go back to the not battle music because we're not fighting right now. That would be bad. Alright, cool. Gate set up. I've got some pitfalls. I've got some sticks for you to burn. There's some platforms upon which archers will be. There's a palisade wall. There's a pit with spikes all the way around. Any other kind of siege weaponry that we want to construct, or I'm not sure.
Can we make trebuchets with rocks to fire from them?
We could probably make some scrolls of catapult.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's like normal catapult, like the spell catapult, or can't hurt. We can always chuck burning things.
Okay. Roll me a 1d4.
Sure.
That's how many scrolls you'll get.
Yeah, out of what?
You have one scroll of catapult. Give me another d4.
What's that?
Give me another d4 roll.
That's a 2.
You have 2 scrolls of firebolt.
We'll have Hollard keep both of those scroll of firebolt scrolls,
Okay.
since I think everyone else who can cast spells other than Solar or other than Vibramian can cast firebolt.
Okay.
The catapult.
Is that a cross?
I don't know.
He's
So it's not
bobbing
going to do all.
He's bobbing and weaving.
I think I'll hold on to the scroll of catapult because I can use like firebolt and then chuck it, whatever burning item I have from that, with the catapult scroll.
Yep.
Without using a spell slot.
Any other spells you can think of? I don't want to do like crazy stuff, but I'm open to cantrips first and second levels.
Okay. Let me look.
I've given him a few personally, if things get nutso. And Fran has a few personally, if things get nutso.
Right, I'm assuming we're going to be able to long rest after this because we've talked about it being that.
Yeah.
So
You're gonna have
I went
days.
ahead and prepared my spells for that rest. So that Taryn will know what I'm working with. So once we've set up what we want to do with the earth and making the area within the radius rough terrain before it gets to the ground, which means Fran will need to use shape earth to do that final break of the dam if we need to fill it with water,
Okay.
or you will need to find a way to break 5 feet of earth to start it filling up in a different way. I'm gonna pick up shape water so that I can use that to soak
Boom.
buildings. Welcome
He's
back,
back.
Kildar.
Right on the hour. Burp, burp.
Wabish.
So we're gonna need to use that to soak buildings, and let's say that I've started doing that already because I had a thought. Since the buildings are made out of wood,
Yep.
wood absorbs water.
Yep.
So if that wood is wet, they shouldn't be able to set it on fire, even if they put, unless they happen to have
More grease
Agrees.
that they
no,
use on
because
the ship.
the grease would burn, but the wood wouldn't burn.
Okay.
Because if the wood is wet, it won't catch. It would scorch it, but it wouldn't catch.
That's
So
cool.
unless they have napalm.
I mean, are you gonna douse the flammable people with water so that the grease doesn't
No,
burn them?
no. I'm saying that I'm
Okay.
gonna douse every building that's made with wood,
Yep.
which is every one of them,
Sure.
to the point they're saturated so that they at least can't catch. So if they start lobbing fireballs,
Okay.
at least the buildings won't start burning with people in them. We're preparing for battle, Cross.
Yeah, man.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yes. What the mother does not want to flee. So here's where we are right now. We are going to be able to have a long rest. So if you want to change any of your spells, I suggest you do that.
Gladly.
We have
Yep.
built a trench all around the town. We've diverted the stream closer to the town so that there's only 5 feet between the trench and the stream, so we could fill that trench with water if we need to. We have made all of the terrain surrounding that trench on the outside of town rough terrain. We've cut back the trees as far as we can. We have harvested those trees to make a raft, which has been bound with vines. And essentially, that's the escape plan. If everything else fails, Fran is going to fly women and children first in this raft up in the air and try to get as far away as we can. And we're going to assume that this raft is large enough to carry everyone in the town a little bit away. Let's say maybe like a safe enough that everybody's not going to die immediately away, or further for less people. And then there's palisade towers every couple of feet for archers. We are going to set the forest on fire if the gnolls come. We have in a back pocket a spell of invisibility that could possibly hide the town for what? Anywhere between 5 seconds and 10 minutes.
Yep. Between 1 second and 30 minutes, which we will roll for.
And everybody is sort of like picking in to get what little weapons that they can. We've put some pitfall traps down. When you get back, your job is going to be putting down more traps since you're, the most likely one to know how to make traps. And then all of the trenches have sharp, sticky stabs so that they can't just run into it.
And a palisade wall is like sharpened logs that they're pretty much area denial walls.
I imagine that all of the farms have been burned so that the gnolls don't see this as a source of food. And maybe they'll see the smoke and stuff and not want to come over here. So the other spells I've picked up, I have for my first level spells. Are you paying attention, Taryn?
I am.
Cure Wounds, Earth Tremor. Earth Tremor causes each creature other than you in an area to have to make a dexterity saving throw. That would include friendlies. So this is a oh shit spell. On a failed stage, a creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. If the ground in that area is loose earth or stone, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared. With each 5-foot diameter portion requiring at least 1 minute to clear by hand. So this is a we're fucking surrounded type spell. I still have 9 good berries left for today. I've got my inflict wounds. Of course, my guiding bolt, which I still have at least, I don't know how many slots I have for free. I think it's either 2, 3, or 4 free casts that don't take a spell slot.
I think it's 2 at your current level per day.
Yeah, I'm not.
It should say when you
it's
click
3.
on it.
It's
3. Okay,
Yeah, it's 3.
cool.
And then for my second level spells, I could cast a stronger Cure Wounds, a stronger Earth Tremor, a stronger Guiding Bolt. I can do Invisibility, which is just one creature I touch. And then if I cast it in a higher level, I can do 2 creatures. Misty Step, which is my phase step. Pass Without a Trace, and then I picked up Spike Growth. The ground in a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range twists and sprouts hard spikes and thorns. The area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet traveled. The transformation of the ground is camouflaged to look natural. Any creature that can't see the area at the time the spell is cast must make a perception check against your spell DC to recognize the terrain as hazardous before entering it. I have a 150-foot range, and it's a 20-foot circle. And it's up to 10 minutes concentration. DM.
Yeah, I got you. I know what Spike Growth is. My druid had it. It's a really good spell.
It seemed very good for an invasion.
Yeah, it's really good for an invasion.
I'd like to request a spell scroll of Flaming Sphere, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
As well.
Okay.
I think I'm going to change. I
I'll
have
give you
Speak
one.
with Plants turned on, but I think I'm going to change Speak with Plants because it might not be super useful right now.
There may not be any plants left to speak to after this.
I'm going to pick up Sleet Storm.
Hildar.
Hey, Taryn.
Okay.
You still have fire spell, correct?
He's all
I
fire.
have tons.
I'm going to probably pick up grease. We're
Just
going
don't
to light
cast
these.
it on our people.
Oh, actually, no. I'm going to go Thunderous Wave.
That's a great spell. Requires you to be close though. It's centered on yourself.
True. All right, let's do it. Learn.
Okay. Is there
Learn it.
any like physical things you want to do? Considering you're a smithy, do you want to set up traps of some kind, or anything that you can think of to help protect this town from an invasion?
I'll probably go ahead and set up traps, I guess.
What kind of traps?
Probably bear kind of traps, or
You
simple.
don't have any metal.
Well, not metal, but like
You mean
Animal
like
traps.
using like wooden snares?
Okay. So roll me a d10.
Okay. D10.
Also, we don't know what you saw after we left, so you still
Yeah.
have to brief everyone on what you learned.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right, rolling the D10, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, this one. Roll. What did I roll? I rolled a 3.
All right. I'm gonna give you 3 traps. Where do you want them?
He's streaming if you need to see it.
Yeah. Put one there. Where you're pointing it. And then I'm still trying to visualize it. So that's the camp. I'm guessing that weird red stuff.
I'm not telling you what that is.
Because we don't know orientation.
Mm.
So please DM mark for us which direction we saw the gnolls.
How's
Okay.
that?
What way does the water run?
Flowing south. Okay, yeah, south of the mountain.
Yep.
Okay, and then where is the entrance that where we put the gate?
Right here.
Okay.
I doubt they're going to use the gate. They're going to try and
But
rummage
we need
over.
to know which way we can get out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Place a trap in the direction of that mountain. Yep, over there. Oop.
You want
And
more?
another one there as well. Double up on there.
Okay.
Done.
Cool.
For some reason, it won't let me learn Thunderous Wave.
Do you have too many spells already on? Because you have to turn off a spell that you know by clicking delete in order to pick up the next one.
No, I want to keep that one. I'll get rid of. Fuck. Featherfall. I'll get rid of that. Goodbye. Alright. And back to spells. Add spells. I'm going to get. Where is it?
I do wish I could prepare an additional spell because I want to use Moonbeam so bad, but it's not useful for this particular situation.
Big sad.
Moonbeam just sounds
Ooh.
so cool.
That's a great spell. Oh my god. And you can
And if
move
we
it.
we start fighting undead, I'm picking that up.
Hmm.
That's radiant damage every time they enter it.
Otherwise,
Because undead take more radiant damage, if I'm not mistaken, because that's like the sun.
Okay. How do we feel about our preparations?
Terrible.
Great.
Yep.
yep, absolutely awful.
So let's run through the plan. What's up?
Okay. So I'm going to use my carafe.
Yep.
And I'm going to use my carafe for the mead, and I'm going to fill barrels without Yildar knowing what's in them. I'm going to fill the barrels full of mead, and now we have
Fireball.
giant fucking Molotovs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down.
Make sure you put like little vines for fuses on those suckers, though.
Roll me a d8.
Vines are not that
Rope, whatever.
flammable. I'm using hemp rope.
There you go, hemp rope. That works for me.
You know what? No, roll me a d10. Let's see how many you get.
Gets 10.
I got 6.
All right, we got
Damn.
6 Molotovs. How do I want to draw?
All
this?
top barrels.
Yeah, so I'll do little squares.
Or have you been listing all the spells you've been looking at, Taryn?
There we go.
Have I been? What's that?
Listing all the spells like in the D&D chat? Because you're going.
I've been listening what we've been talking about. So, like, if something's come up, I've been putting it in there. In my inventory, I don't know if you can see what's in my inventory. I have those scrolls that I've got. And then, who took there was the,
Two
Right, so I've got
firebolts, a catapult, and a flaming sphere.
yeah, so the fire bolts are currently with,
Hollard.
yep, Pollard. And then I've got the flaming sphere and the catapult. It was 2 catapult scrolls or 1?
1. 2
Okay,
fireballs
so
and
one.
1 flaming sphere.
Okay, so one flaming sphere and 1 catapult.
Yep.
So, how many townspeople are able to fight?
Let's say 30% of 60 is, let's see, 18? No, that's too little. Let's call it half. Let's say 30 of them are willing, able, and effective at combat.
Let's say that Granny Trogbane trains whatever the difference between what you wanted and what we got is. I'll make a bane out of you.
How many are children and old?
You got, we'll split the difference. Let's say 15-15.
All right. I vote that I'm going to assume that the pavilion is probably the most magically warded building. Right?
Sure.
So let's make the
Bold
unable
assumption.
to fight.
It's
Well, you
definitely the
tell me
best
if I'm wrong.
defendable.
We're all in this town, right? We've
Yeah.
all discussed this with the people who live here.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna assume that that is the safest building to put the people who cannot protect themselves.
Yep. It's surrounded by stone pillars, stone walls. It's a huge open center area. Yeah. It's probably the safest place. I'm sorry, not stone. There's no stone here. Wooden. But yes, no,
Yes.
it's definitely the biggest and most defendable.
So that's where we're gonna put
It's also the oldest.
people.
Okay.
And let's say we use Shape Earth to try to help, on the outer
Like
walls
plug
and
the
stuff.
holes.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no problem.
just to make it a little bit,
So difficult terrain all the way around with lots of damage. And we got some
You-
And
traps.
those spikes everywhere.
I did, and that's what the black things are in the trenches.
Okay, cool. I see the trench out. Awesome.
Yeah, the red streaks are your flammable sticks that you will be, I guess, firing at. You requested those. I put them in.
And from there, let's assume that we're having watchers on the walls.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not going to be able, and because we've cleared away, they're not going to be able to do a sneak attack.
So these black circles are the
Palisades.
no, palisades are the orange crosses. That's to prevent movement. That's what palisade walls are. They're like logs that are low, that are pointy, they impede movement.
Yeah.
The black,
This is gonna be insane.
these are platforms, elevated platforms with arches on them.
Nice. This
Yeah.
village has turned into a war camp.
Yeah, basically like a slapdash one with a bunch of villagers. You have 15 guardsmen, 15 people who are armed and wanting to fight, 15 children and 15 elderly. Essentially, that worked out kind of neatly. I didn't plan for that to happen. That was kind of nice.
I'm going
And you
to
guys. Plus Hollard and Fran and Larissa.
Yep.
And Mike, I guess. Mike's not going to fight, though. Yeah, unless he has.
He'll make null burgers for whatever I flambe for.
Yeah. All the yellows are the fall pits that you guys just dug a hole and put spikes in.
Hopefully I don't fall into it while I'm
Yeah,
coming
please
back.
don't do that. That would be bad.
Let's say Mike's job is to be the runner. Let's say Mike is the fastest motherfucker in this group.
Okay.
And his job is to run and tell us if any of the one part starts to go down.
Okay, sure. So your plan with the stream was what again? Just so I'm clear.
All right, so the stream has been diverted
Yep.
so that it is closer to the village.
Yes.
And let's assume that because I know where it is, that I'm going to be able to use shape water if I need to start throwing 5-foot blocks of water to put stuff out.
Okay.
But the plan is that if it comes down to where we need to flood the trench,
Okay.
because there's too much fire coming at us, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If we need to flood those trenches, Fran is gonna use mold earth, or Taryn's gonna figure out a way to bridge the 5-foot gap that we left.
Or explosive Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, to move the water into the trenches.
Sure, I like it. All right. Y'all feel confident in what you got going on?
No.
Yeah. Well, I have a plan that starts before this too, but I'm going to do a long rest first.
All right. So once I want to get all of y'all's plans first before I tell you how this is going to happen.
So my
Okay.
plan
Well-
is okay.
Before you enact whatever plan you're gonna do, Trog,
Mhm.
we have to have Hildar inform everyone of
Oh, yeah, of
what he
course.
saw.
I just want to let you know how the fight's going to happen. But yeah.
Okay.
So
Because I just don't know if what he says might change
I got you.
choices.
So in the midst of getting all this set up, Hildar, you walk back into camp. You're a little bit late, but you're better late than never.
Yeah.
You see that everyone's abuzz with energy. There's a lot of banging going on, and a lot of people swinging the weapons you didn't know existed before. What are you doing?
What is going on here? Okay. I walk into camp. Try and find Vivri or
Norhion.
Norhion.
I like that you're now
Trog.
calling Norhion
Yeah.
Hildar.
Yeah.
It's easy to
getting-
do, right? I'm so sorry.
Yep.
It's the J, I'm telling you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you see Norhion standing on one of the platforms looking out over into the forest.
I wave to him.
Yelder, what find you?
I found very bad thing. We need to group up and talk.
Okay.
Beaver,
Yeah.
what are you
Right.
doing? Are you dousing houses?
Run! Beavery! Captain!
What?
You're within 120 feet. You can use,
It's-
like, message.
He startles me and I drop water on top of his head.
That's not my head. What? How are,
You're right. What is
Don't
Santi
get this.
Ote doing? Are you going to mount him?
Oh yeah, I will. I have a plan for that. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Grouping up.
I
Okay,
don't
right.
like this.
So everyone over here, Yelder has returned.
Do not like this.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Larissa comes over, and so does Fran.
I walk over and Hildar, I'm glad you made it back okay. You weren't here earlier, but here. And I hand him what I was stress cooking, one of which I've already given out to other people. And it looks kind of like cheese, but also not.
Not cheese.
You're not quite sure.
She hands you
You
nut
eat it?
cheese.
Not cheese.
Do you eat it?
Thanks, but with my emotion at the moment, I'm just like terrified.
Are those good? I'll
Um,
take some.
Larissa hands Fran 2 gold pieces and says, I guess you win this bet.
Damn. Okay. I try to fumble with like trying to make up words, but I'm just out of breath, terrified.
Well, let's hear it.
I don't think sound alert worked.
That didn't work.
What was it?
I
I don't like this.
I don't
you
like
shoot
this.
goldfish.
It worked.
Oh,
Worked
you
for
know.
me.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't see the notification. Okay.
I saw it.
I don't know what they're doing in that camp, and I snuck in to the left camp. And there's one of the Knolls was praying to this little statue that was glowing purple, and he had a blue robe on.
Spiky
They have
bits.
magic, with spiky bits coming out of it.
But I don't think Knolls have gods.
I don't know. That they easily were about to find me really quickly.
Give
I don't
me a
know.
religion check, Vibri. And anyone else who wants to make one, I guess.
I'll do it.
I'll do one.
I guess.
16.
Okay.
What do I roll?
I'm mad
Right.
because I have a lot of
Religion.
religious knowledge. and I rolled
I
a
got 9.
7.
Nice.
Oof.
What'd you get?
And my
I got 9.
passive is 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 16, so if that helps at all.
When he's saying this to you, Avery, you remember that as well as benevolent deities, there are some that are shadier than most. Norion, you know for a fact that some deities are out there just for fun to kill as many things as they can. That's what
Sounds like a dark deity.
Dark deity.
That or a chaotic one of the two, or both.
Well, whatever it is, it creepy as hell. Like, gave me creepy vibes. I don't want to go back there. Screw that.
Don't worry, they'll probably be coming here, so
Yeah, from all these defenses you're putting up, jeez.
Where specifically did you see the big woman with the blue robe?
The left camp. I can't really point to it.
Yeah, their westernmost camp, the one that was closest, the 3-tiered one. I mean, it's on the mountain. It's probably the best you're gonna get.
The best, like, I guess, surroundings would be just it's on the mountain, like, more steeply, I guess. It had 3 layers to it, and there was a bit of them roaming about. They seemed to do patrols, but they weren't really patrolling. It's so weird.
I'm in
I don't understand.
danger.
Yeah, you could say that.
Chuckles, I'm in danger. What? Okay, so what's our plan here? What's going on?
Right. So, Beaver, you were talking?
we have to try to save these people. There's no other way. We won't have time. We can't get past them in the mountain. We don't have time to figure out transportation. All we can do is hunker down.
We're gonna hunker real hard because what I saw was hundreds of them. So we better pull our best selves out because we're in deep danger here.
Friend says hundreds.
Yes, hundreds. Snorts.
Oh, that's fewer than 9,001 on the plus side.
Yeah, I guess.
9,000.
I don't think there's any other option. I asked Mother what she would like to do, and she said this is their home. We can't just leave them to die.
We'll
You're
try
going to
our best.
burn them to a crisp.
We
Yeah.
did to make a makeshift raft, and I point to where the tree logs have been planed as best they can, and
Yeah, tell me about this
Cut.
raft. In fact, I might make you
So-
roll for it.
well, I had a whole village of people helping me.
Sure,
I feel like
sure.
together we're pretty good wood craftsmen.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna roll 5 d20s, and we're gonna take a mean, and I'm gonna add your survival modifier. How's that sound?
My survival modifier is +2.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I
then.
rolled a 16 if you want to make one of mine, since I helped.
Well, those are numbers.
Those are numbers.
I gotta move this. So we can see
Numbers
the
are
text.
numbers.
Darn it. There we go. Okay. Let's see. 19, 9, 8, 3, and 2. And I'll add your 16. Why not?
Is this a strong stream?
No, it's
It's
2
not
feet deep. So a mean of those numbers is 9.5. So you roll. I'm gonna round it up.
And my modifier is 2.
Plus 2. All right, so you roll a 12. Okay, so yeah, it resembles a raft. It's pretty well put together. It's got some moss on it. Looks a little slippery. You could definitely tell where the little girl was trying to help, and there's like a flower sticking out of one of the sides of it. But
Nice image.
If it helps, how I'm envisioning the shape of it
okay, let's hear
is
it.
basically like the the tree trunks have been cleaned of bark as best they could to make them relatively even in shape. And that coming up on the sides, they've been like not full trunks, but like either like half trunks or maybe even quarter trunks have been built as a platform around it. Not very tall, just tall enough that if people were sitting on the raft and it moved forward, they're not going to topple off the back, if that makes sense.
Have you guys
And
ever
that-
seen like the videos of India and the trains and people trying to get on the trains there?
Not specifically.
Well, there's just like so freaking many people trying to get into a single car. They're just hanging off the edges of it.
Yes.
That's what I imagine this raft's going to be like.
Probably. In my mind, it's pretty big, so we cleared
Sure.
a lot of trees.
Yeah.
But a lot of what's holding these rafts together in my mind is that I had used my entangle spell to create vines.
Yeah, sure.
And we had used those vines to fasten the majority of these together, and that maybe the cracks have been shorn up using like densely packed mud. So whether or not this would ever be like seaworthy isn't a question. It's just good enough. It's you know what? It reminds me of the rickshaw that we put Gildar in.
So I'll tell you, it's definitely big. It's definitely wooden. It's definitely held together. It's definitely bulky. And it's what you needed it to be.
Yeah.
It's constructed.
The plan, Hildar, is that if all of this goes sideways, we get the children first, and then as many others as we can that survive on here. And Fran's going to get us as far out of here as she can. There's a lot that we could probably go decently far.
Fran reaches into her spell scroll case and pulls out a parchment. She hands it to you, Vivere. She says, "In case I am not in a position to cast this spell, this is the only scroll of flying that I was able to get out."
I
She hands it
nod
to you.
solemnly. But you better survive. I think Norhion might cry.
I'll just threaten Hollard with something, and he'll come up with about 5 more of those scrolls of flying in 30 seconds.
We look at Fran and see if we detect a blush.
Roll for blush. Hang on.
Roll for plus.
There we go. Well, no, that's 5. Let's not roll 5 of those.
Too much
Blushes.
blush.
Her face turns red.
Six. Burp, burp. Lol.
She kicks the dirt and walks away.
What's up with her? Well, anyway, so Hjalder, if things go right though, we've got this nice like ditch, right, going all around, and there's spikes in the ditch, and there's spikes in the ditch, right?
Spikes in the ditches.
Burn all the
man.
bitches. Wait.
Oh no.
So we've got that. We've got sticks chilling all over the place so that they can be set on fire. We have doused the buildings over here down and the palisade walls so that they're wet and hopefully won't catch on fire as easily.
Hopefully.
We have palisade walls now to help keep the gnolls busy with trying to get over palisade walls.
Mm-hmm.
And we have there's a stream, and there's like 5 feet of earth between the stream and the ditch, and if things become dire, we're going to nuke that 5 feet of earth, and the stream is going to flood the ditch.
Okay.
We also have 6 Molotov barrels, which we can throw at the gnolls and set on fire, and it'll be fun.
Interesting. Can't wait to see this chaos.
Aren't you
Try.
curious?
I feel like that should be the effect of
Yes.
fireball, by the way.
Do you want to try to put on stream our battle map?
Yeah, I could try. Let's have a look.
Very crude, but it'll work.
Because most of you don't get the honor of seeing
The
the
battle map.
beauty. Yeah, the beauty that is the
Oh,
battle
this is
map.
horrible. Don't let them talk this up. It's absolutely not good in any way.
Better than nothing.
Plus, image, map. Okay. Browse. Where did I put that? Downloads?
You have
maybe?
to
Yeah,
resize
downloads.
us or something.
Yep, let me resize that. So for those of you participating at home, this is the crudely drawn battle map that I've slapped together.
Perfect.
We have pitfall traps all around,
Paper map. Yeah.
red sticks that are greased and ready for fire, orange palisade cross logs all the way around, black pedestals on which archers are standing, the pavilion on which all of the infirm are being kept and defended, the dugout trench full of spikes all the way around, and the diverted stream that will fill said trench in the case of an emergency, the mountain, which is the direction in which the gnolls were last seen. I'm not leaving anything out?
I
Oh,
don't
the
think
raft?
so.
Do we need the, where's the tree line?
I guess I could do a tree line. You're not going to see it on the stream, though, but I can do it on the Discord stream.
I assumed that the tree line was outside those yellows.
Yeah, I figured it was, yeah, right around, yeah.
It's
Like, yeah.
time to roll for initiative.
There we go, that looks about right.
So that's where we're at. If there's no other preparations to be made, I'd like to explain to you how this is going to work.
I have one more preparation I'd like to make.
Yes, let's hear it.
Hjalder, Vibri, and anyone else listening who can work with wood, I have one additional request for Don Quixote. I'd like a large log to be fitted with wooden spikes, and then to be attached to Don Quixote, or attachable to a harness for Don Quixote to trail behind him. So when he charges the gnolls, the spiked log will come behind him and murder their faces.
I stare at
This
him
is
a
a clean
moment.
stream.
You do know that if it hits a rock and bounces, it could end up impaling Don Quixote.
If Don Quixote is charging into the midst of the gnolls, that'll be the least of our problems, honestly.
I don't think it is.
I think it's too risky.
Orsa gets to work on it immediately.
Oh. Oh my. Alright.
So I'll give you a
Those-
great club's
those
worth of
kinds
damage for that.
harnesses are usually done with metal to keep it
Yeah.
from being able to bounce.
So they've got leather. Like, I mean, they obviously use animal
That's
parts,
not gonna
so-
solve that problem.
I guess not. Or it's just like
You-
chopping out a log with their saber haphazardly. I got you! Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Clink, clink.
Looks good to me.
Alright, so this is what's gonna happen. There's an encampment of 450 gnolls that are gonna be coming after
Yeah.
you guys.
I thought so.
They are going to come en masse, probably in waves, depending on how you guys behave. Everything.
I'm going to stop you, and maybe this never occurred to Trog.
What's up?
So it's going to be up to Trog to decide if this is a possibility for your contraption. But this is the outcome.
What am I looking at?
Follow
In
the
chat.
clip.
Oh God, yes.
Watch this.
Oh, I love this.
Flies
on.
through the windshield.
This should be a thicker log than that one is, so it shouldn't really be able to do that.
That's the risk you're gonna take.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on stream. Hang on. All right, everyone.
Watch this. The wooden handbrake is holding me. I simply set off. The wooden handbrake is
Make sure
holding me.
they can
I
hear it,
simply
because
set
him
off.
saying this is hysterical.
Oh, yes. Sometimes my genius is... It's almost frightening. It's going to be a scorcher today. Oh, my God!
That's your
Sometimes
plan,
my
North
genius
Yard.
is... It's almost frightening. Stupidest idea in history.
Perfect.
James unveiled his radical.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, no, nothing
What
at all.
could possibly go wrong?
I mean, Don Quixote doesn't stop. He just keeps running.
With
We were watching Top
We
Gear
were.
because of the contraption that Noriel wanted to build.
Are
I
you
think maybe-
sure you want to risk Don Quixote?
Maybe we'll just throw the spike log down a hill.
That sounds like a...
Let's make a
Larissa's
ramp.
just chopping away.
And excellent. Make a ramp right here by where the gate is, and we'll just, let's make 2 spike logs, so we can drop them from either side of the gate and have them roll on the gate pathway.
All right, so 450 gnolls are coming after you guys. All of your abilities, all of your contraptions, traps, and everything all have damage assigned to them. Every 1 damage that you guys do will be 1 kill to one of these gnolls. They're all gonna have 1 hit point. Sound fair?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna abandon my initial plan to ride off on Don Quixote before everything begins and to go set an old camp on fire and run back.
All right. So, I'm gonna try and be as sensible about this as I can. Obviously, we're gonna have people. I have a whole bunch of stuff set up, and well, this is either gonna be a lot of fun or incredibly terrifying.
Both.
Both.
Probably.
Why not both?
Yeah. So, are we ready to begin the
Jay-Z is at the ready.
Nolageddon.
Nolageddon?
Nolan getting.
First off, everybody take a long rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we get a long rest first. I get recovery on my charges.
Same here. Boom.
So since this is a new day, let's just go ahead and assume that I made a new batch of good berries.
So we're gonna do this in rounds. I am gonna have you guys roll initiative. I will do initiatives for Hollard and Fran and Larissa. Every round, each one of these archers is gonna hit a knoll. And if there are knolls in the fire, they will perish, etc., etc.
It's time to
What about
roll
Granny Nullbane?
for
Does she get like a
initiative.
bonus null kill per shot?
You know what? I will let you roll her initiative. I will give one archer a +1. So yeah, she'll be a part of that. How about that?
Nice.
All right. So that's where we're at.
Alrighty.
Yep.
So mind you, everyone, this means that there is basically an elven grandma who is leading the archers on the wall, directing them to fire arrows at the gnolls, and is like pounding them to do it well
And she's
because she
throwing
has
rocks.
trained all of them.
Yes, perfect.
And basket beating.
Yeah.
And basket beating, also known as no, we're not going there. Okay, so here we go. It's a new day. It's the dawn of the new day. The smell of earth, freshly moved earth, and petrichor from the water dousing everything is thick in the air. There's a cold chill because it is still autumn. The leaves are crunching against the ground, and people are piling into the pavilion. This is going to prove to be a very long day for a lot of us. I need a secondary number here. Hang on. That's the people.
It's time to roll for initiative.
Let's have those initiative rolls, everybody. I will roll one initiative for the gnolls to determine when they move.
I got 24.
I have 2.
I have 14.
I got 20.
I am the first.
All right, so 24,
In
20.
case it becomes necessary, Don Quixote got a 6.
I'll count his initiative with yours. You'll be able to do him and yourself at the same time. I'm sorry, one more time.
Okay.
Well, whose roll? Who got what?
I got
I got
14.
24.
24, 20, 14, and what was yours, Norian?
2.
2. I'm sorry, one more time.
14.
Okay. 2. And I need to roll 4. We'll do
Color code
the what?
Color code the roll initiative, so you know.
I'll put letters. Hang on. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
the tertiary group. Oh gosh. Okay. We'll give them 8. So 8, 2. Norhion. 20 is Knowles. 24 is Hildar. 14 was Viveri. 8 was
Make sure to join back in the activity, Karen, so you can hear the music.
everyone else. Okay, so that's the initiative
Mark
order. Makes sense that you would go first. Yep, so let me fire up our
Oh yeah.
scary battle music. It's early morning. The sounds of rumbling can heard in the distance. You can actually start to feel the ground shaking a little bit. It's unnerving. Everyone gets to their positions. The archers' bows are unsteady. The wind, breeze in the trees. Every noise is setting everybody off. Everyone waits with bated breath as the first gnolls appear, coming directly from the mountainside. So let's see. We got your traps here. I'm gonna say 4. Come out. And immediately get hit by string traps as they fly and impale the gnolls in a straight line. Seeing their companions go down, the gnolls begin to bay and begin to rush forward. Hildar, you're up first, man. You see a line of gnolls coming at the camp.
Missile.
Great, let's have it.
Rolling. So how many was them?
So
Or
that's-
just the line of.
Yeah, it's a line. Like, you
Alright.
just see them, and you're just like, fire!
Okay. Magic missiles, split them up. So 1 per person. So 3 of them.
Yep, so
Right?
let's have the
3
damage. They're gonna hit.
Let's roll it. Yeah. 2.
Okay,
Another one.
Yep.
2.
4. Okay.
And 4.
Alright, so 8. 8 gnolls go down. 3 missiles pierce through them. Just like bullets, man. They just plop right on over like they were never there, and they get immediately trampled as gnolls behind them rush forward to take the place. Next up is the gnolls, who rush forward.
Remember, it's rough terrain.
Yep, rough terrain. Well, have you cast Spike Growth? It's not your turn yet.
No. When
Okay.
we put up the trench, we made the perimeter outside of the trench all rough terrain.
Sure. Yeah, so they're moving slowly. As soon as the footfalls hit the outer tree line, or, past the tree line, they begin to slow as they are pulling their legs up more difficultly than they should be. 5 of them go out to a spike pit as they all fall in. You guys built some wide spike pits.
Yeah.
The spike pit quickly fills up with gnoll bodies as it levels up with the ground. And they
Are you
reach the
saying
palisade wall.
no bodies hit the floor?
Yes, I am.
Hit the floor.
Great. Next up, Vivri.
I am going to go into my Starry Form Archer, which I believe is my action phase.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my archer form for my bonus action.
Okay.
So I should be able to hit at least one of them, right?
If you roll to hit.
Okay, so I have to still roll DC to hit,
Yeah, sure.
which I got 12.
Okay. That'll do it.
And then I rolled a 5.
5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Plus your modifiers and everything.
It's the radiant damage, so it's 1d8 plus 2.
Okay. Yep. So, what does that look like? You hit 5 and killed them.
So when I fire my starry form bolt, when it zooms out over the wall, it breaks into 5 what looks like small shooting stars, and it seems like it just seeks out and burns straight through 5 gnolls.
Great. The gnolls collapse on the spot, holes still sizzling. Next up is everybody else, as all 7 archers on their pedestals fire and bring a gnoll down. So every time they go, at least, they'll get 7 kills.
8 kills. Granny gets 2.
Okay, you're right. 8 kills. Look at that. That's an 8. It was an 8 all along. You do that. Hollard stands up, casts a firebolt. What's the damage on firebolt, Morion?
Depends on level.
It's the lowest.
Let me just use mine.
That's what I was
I'll
going for.
divide mine by 2 because mine is second level. So it's let's say he does 2 damage.
Well, I mean, what's the dice on it?
Mine is 2d10, but level 1 it's
a
like
1d10.
1d8.
1d8? Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
What?
Hollard hits 5.
Damn.
As he hits the ground, and the ground kicks up, and fire explodes in a small wave, engulfing 5 gnolls as
Yes.
they begin to writhe on the ground and then stop moving.
You're right. It was 1d10, but that's fine. 5 is still better than what I got as 2d10, so I'll take it.
Right. Fran stands up.
Got you. Welcome to the war.
Stands up. And she casts Maximilian's Earthen Grasp in a 5-foot square. She does 2d6 bludgeoning damage. I'm not going to make these guys have a saving throw for dex because they're tightly packed. So 2d6. As soon as I can find my roller again. So this giant earthen fist comes out from under this wave of gnolls. And as you guys are looking out over this line, there's just gnolls as far as you can see from the tree line to where you currently are. Oh, max damage. Fran takes 12 gnolls out in a giant fist that comes up out of the ground.
Damn.
Balls up
Wow.
the fist and just slams back down on top of them.
Are you saying she fisted them?
She fisted them so good.
At least they died in ecstasy, apparently.
Larissa points, aims her hand crossbow, fires off a shot, hitting 5 more gnolls in a straight line, just right through them. It's like fodder before the flame. Norion, you're up.
Alright, what weight did we say those barrels are, by the way?
I'll give you 10 pounds, sir.
my.
Yeah. Alright, so just for context, I'm standing on top. I've had Don Quixote move me to the point of the wall where I'm like closest to them, and I'm standing on top.
Okay.
I don't know if we have the barrels
Right here?
position to actually use them yet, but we'll use them later. Right, yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, you're right here.
Alright, so there's some fire brush there, right?
Yeah, there's a stick right here.
And some traps.
That is true.
When your 2 traps are used up, we've got 1 more over here.
Okay.
The 2 pits are full of corpses now.
Alrighty.
They haven't even made it to the wall yet. I mean, to the
Nope.
pit yet.
Nope,
Yeah,
not at
we'll
all.
go ahead and firebolt one of the sticks that they're standing on top of.
All right. Let's have that damage.
Apparently, it's stuck on 5.
Okay.
Stuck on fire. Kaboom.
So 5 damage, and anyone who comes into this area, 5 damage.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's the turn. Let me tally this up. 37. I got, is that 55? Help me out.
Oh, math-wise,
I think we're at 395 now. Everyone's alive so far. The Knolls haven't even made it yet, but there are many of them.
Yeah, very many.
393 is what I came up with.
390. Okay, that's good enough. I'll roll with that.
They're talking waves and upon waves of gnolls. It's
Wow,
literally a
that's quick.
sea of gnolls.
Might as well just done that white. Hang on.
Ye-
I got the size right. That'll work.
New number.
393. 393 Knolls remain. First wave haven't been scattered. Top of the order. Hildar. These Knolls are starting to drop like flies. This is looking like you guys made the right decision after all.
Mm. Where
I
am
don't
I
like the
positioned?
sound of that.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that. Where am I positioned?
Wherever you want. Where do you want to be?
I will be with Norhyun
Okay.
at the front line.
Okay.
I'm going to. Let's see.
Except you're standing on a platform because you're short.
Yeah, a little
He
step
actually
ladder.
gets on Norhyon's shoulders.
Not allowed. It's a platform.
Oh my god.
There's your little platform. You're welcome.
I'm going to do Magic Missile again.
Yeah, okay, sure. Give me the
Let's
damage.
do it.
Magic missile doesn't miss,
Casting.
for those of you who don't know.
Yep. I'm going to concentrate it, spread it out. That's 2.
Okay.
Rolling another. That's 4.
Okay. 6.
And that's another 2.
All right. 8. 8
Eight again.
Knolls. Tell me what that looks like.
It literally just looks like I somehow, out of my nipples, just just fireballs just go.
Why are nipples? The little elven girl
Word
looks
that
at
it
you in
came out of your
disbelief.
nose.
No, it just comes out random places now.
Okay.
Nipples just pew, pew, and they go straight for their heads. Just headshots.
Headshot.
Kildar at some point took off his shirt, tied around his head to keep his hair
Yeah.
clean.
He's massaging his own breast. Just go. Okay. 8 Knolls fall to the ground and collapse in a heap. Next up is the Knoll's turn. Let's say this is going to continue to be 5 damage. So I'm going to say that the 5 who were running forward can't stop their momentum. And we're going to kill 5 more who are just going to fall right on top of the corpses of the other ones.
Yeah, they feed the flames.
Yep. The rest of the group's going to pivot.
Pivot.
Oop, that's too big. That's too big, Mish Money Penny. The rest of the group's going to pivot over this way. As you see them approaching at this direction.
Here we go, pivot!
Oh god. What have I done?
Pivot!
We're going to lose 5 more. You know what? No,
Pivot!
let me roll for
Pivot!
Oh, I see what you've done now. Where you're pivoting.
that. Yeah, we're going to lose 4 more to this pitfall trap as it fills up with Knolls. As they approach the line now, having been blocked off from the original line. I'm going to do a secret roll real quick. Okay. The ground rumbles. Get a little closer.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Next up, V3.
I'm going to cast Spike Growth.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast it where they're charging in.
Okay.
So, I've never cast this before. It is vocal, and somatic and it has a material.
You won't need the
Which-
material. You have an arcane focus.
Okay, and so let's say that I'm casting it using the Sylvan tongue, and so I am making very fluid
Cool.
hand gestures as I am speaking a language which sounds not dissimilar to the sound of water. And
If he's
so-
drowning, help her.
So now there is a 20-foot radius centered within, just a little bit ahead of where they're charging in.
So you want to
And
cast
so-
it at them or across their path?
Just ahead of them, so that they're gonna have to run into it.
Okay.
Or they'll have to pivot.
So that area becomes difficult terrain. So we have double difficult terrain now, if that is how that works.
Sure.
And then any creature that moves in or within the area is going to start taking 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet that they move.
Okay.
And the ground doesn't look any different because it's camouflaged.
Okay.
So any creature at the time the spell is cast must make a perception check against my spell save DC to see if they recognize it as hazardous.
What's your save DC?
Where's the spell save one?
Your save DC should be on your page.
Help me.
It's like wisdom plus
You pulled up your page.
yeah. Oh god,
It
Kaiju.
says 13.
13's the spell save DC?
That's what it says. I'm surprised though for her level.
Well, what's your
I
wisdom
don't
score?
see it. My wisdom is 15. So it's wisdom plus 2, and then my base is 15.
Okay. I don't have your page pulled up.
Hold on, I'm looking for the spell in case there's something specific for it. But it's so if you pull up your spells section, Solar, it's at the top where modifier and spell attack are. It says save DC.
Yeah,
It shows
it says
13.
save DC is 13.
Okay.
I don't know why.
13 then. Alright. So that's their perception. Let me check their passive perception real quick. Oh, they dumb as frick. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Right, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast my Starry Form Archer.
Yep.
I got 15 plus 5, so I've got 20. So I'm gonna assume that hits.
Yep. I'm not
And I
gonna
got
worry about
8.
hits. You're gonna hit a group of gnolls. 8 damage. All right.
Mhm.
Let's go. What's that look like?
Same thing. I'm gonna fire at the group, and at the last second, it's gonna split into 8 tiny shooting stars, zooming straight through them with a nice,
Cool.
let's say right through their heads, since they're only 1 hit point.
Yeah.
I like it. Next up is everyone else. We are going to do a -8 for the archers, who are all going to put 1 down, plus Granny Milbane, who was just staring angrily into the distance, going, "Fire!" As she's looking at the fire. No, I'm just kidding.
One gnoll becomes intimidated and poops its pants a little bit.
He falls on the ground, sucking his thumb. Holler stands up.
Not Grandma.
Holler stands up, and upon seeing the Molotovs, casts his own catapult into the group of gnolls. What is the damage for catapult, sir?
Well, what level is it?
He's going to be base every time. He's
Let me give you let me give you a level 2 catapult then,
Okay.
which I think are level 1. Level 1 can be up level 1. 3d8.
3d8. All right. Wow.
What did you roll?
17 damage.
Damn.
Nice. And that
And then
that
splash
barrel
damage.
is in the middle of the knolls now too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you see a large wooden barrel large, a medium-sized wooden barrel, lift up off the ground and go flying towards this group of gnolls as it just starts bouncing off of them like a stone skipping across a lake. And they start to just fall over as it yeah, exactly, ricochets and comes to a standstill on top of several gnoll corpses. Hollard grips his fist and up into the air and goes, "Yeah!"
Good one, Holler.
Larissa stands up, reloads her crossbow, pops off a shot, taking out 7 gnolls. Good God!
Damn.
Murdering stuff. As they flop to the sides, tripping over one another, and causing internal bleeding and death.
Yes.
Norion, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna firebolt the barrel,
All right.
which I interpret to be the equivalent of a fireball.
Yes, sir. Let's have the, what is it, 68?
8d6, which is gonna come out to 29 damage, and the area is
Whoa.
burning.
Yep.
Oh.
So right here in the center is engulfed in an
You
explosion.
basically see a firebolt come out from my finger, and then you see like a nuclear bomb basically just blow up from this goddamn barrel.
Yeah.
An
Jeez.
explosion
That's
of
viscera go
fire.
everywhere.
So it's fiery, spiky death,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah.
So you said 29? Right? 29?
Oh, sorry. Yes, that was me. Did I apologize?
Okay. Huge explosion. Guts and sizzling
Viscera.
viscera go everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, help me tally this up.
6.
Could be 307 gnolls left.
Okay. Ooh, I found a bigger eraser. I like that.
So the question is, are they going to be dumb enough to roll forward?
Well, they're not
Right.
going to run through the fire willingly. Some of them will get caught up in the momentum. Because that makes sense to me. Okay. We have reduced...
We're wiping them.
In 2 rounds, in about 12 seconds, you guys have reduced their numbers by 150.
Casually.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, just casual things.
That's the bad part for me now is I only have 1 spell slot left.
You've got a bow. You got a short bow. You've got.
Yeah.
You can get out there and start slashing if you want.
Oh, I
You
don't
can
want to
start
risk that.
punching with your mage hand.
You could.
You've got that giant ass like club of axes.
I'll give you a 1d4 for your mage
Wait,
hand.
wait.
What's
What
up?
if he picks up with his mage hand the club and smacks them with the club?
I'll
30 feet
will
away?
let you pick it up and drop it on them. Absolutely.
You're just giving them a weapon.
I will absolutely let you pick it up and drop it. It will not be a great hammer's worth of damage because you're not swinging it full force, but I'll give you a d6 for it.
I'm going to probably do something else with my mage hand.
Sure.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Ew. Not right now?
No, no,
fight?
It's a bold
not
time
that.
for that.
Not
Gilbert.
that. Explosions.
I mean, hey, it may actually work because you haven't had alcohol in 3 days, so.
Oh god. All right. What are we doing? What's happening?
You're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
All right, mage hand chucking up a Molotov into the crowd.
All right. So the crowd currently is on fire. Would you
More
like to just
fire.
double up on that fire, or do you want to throw it further back to
I
the
would-
side? Do you want to position it?
Definitely try to hit more because there's not a lot alive in that crowd.
Yeah. What do I see at the moment? It's just giant fire.
Yeah. So
forest.
just literally 6 seconds ago, a huge fireball explosion appeared just outside the gates, and you see what you actually see is blood and viscera and heads and fingers and toenails fly everywhere.
And the faint smell of Knoll burgers cooking.
Yep, and grape soda.
My God. Mage Hand, chuck it into that field further back
Okay.
from that explosion.
All right.
Yeet.
At the tree line, we now have a Molotov of barrel.
Yep.
Give me the catapult. No, you don't have a catapult. You know, I'll give you the D6 for dropping it though. Roll me a
Yep.
D6.
D6.
Yep. Because I catapulted it with Hollard, and he did. That's why he did the damage.
Ah, damn. 1.
1. All right, you kill
Yep.
one gnoll who hears a whistling sound. As he looks around to his left, to his right, and as soon as he looks up, right on top of him.
It's okay, Fjolnir. If they get caught in that area for a little bit here, they may suffer more.
Yeah.
All right, next up is the gnolls.
That's close enough to the tree line. That thing goes up, the whole tree line's gonna go up.
That's my plan.
Secret roll. Okay.
Secret roll.
So this is what's happening now. A line of gnolls appear on either side,
Oh. Yep.
trying to evade as much of the fire as they possibly can.
Thought
And
so.
They hop over the stream here and fall into this pit. Well, -5. The momentum of the ones here rush headfirst into the flaming, spiky death trap that has been bereft upon them. You know what? I'll let. What's your what was your spike damage?
Solars?
Am I gonna pull it up?
2d4, I think,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think it was
Give me a
2d4.
second.
I think it was more than
Give me a
that.
second. Give me a second. They have
2d4
they take
piercing every 5 feet.
2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet they travel.
All right, we'll say the trying to skid to a stop is 5 feet. Give me that 2d4 damage.
Seven.
All right. So, Beaver, you can see this, but the rest of you do not see the spikes there. So what you do see is 7 gnolls in a line try to skid to a stop and suddenly start coming apart all over their bodies as they are sliced to bits by invisible spines that are growing out of the ground as their body parts fall into this giant engulfing fire and begin to cook.
God. Cremation.
Yeah, straight up.
No burgers for the no burger god.
Yeah. This line up here, charging forth, gets hit by your trap here.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me another D6 for that. I'll give D6. D6 is a pretty solid number.
Rolling. I rolled a 3.
All right. You take 3 of them out as they
Ching.
whip vine spiked log that was waiting springs up and impales them straight across their bellies, and they fall over. Cool. That's the Knoll's turn. Next up, Beavery.
I'm gonna cast my short bow
Yep.
at the group that is coming over the river.
Okay.
My hit DC is 11.
You're gonna hit him. It's fine.
All right, and that takes 1d6 piercing damage plus 4, so that is 10.
Okay. Tell us what that looks like.
So when I fire my crossbolt towards them, somehow I just get super lucky, and it just goes straight through a line of them. Just goes one right after another,
Yeah.
and before it finally comes to a halt in the last body.
So maybe I'm not selling this enough, but like, ostensibly, this is what's coming at you guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
That's worse
Morgan's
now.
working on something for that.
Oh god.
And so yeah, when you fire something that pierces like that, you're just gonna hit a bunch of gnolls.
Ostensibly.
Ostensibly, you're going to shoot them until they are dead.
So then I'm going to use my bonus action
Yep.
for my archer form.
Uh-huh.
And then that's going to fire towards that same group,
Okay.
taking out 6.
I like it. 6 gnolls stop in their space as they see the other ones fall in a line, try to panic, start to run, and then that starry explosion of shrapnel puts them all down.
Damn.
As you fill their bodies with hot, burning, magical death. Next up's everybody. First off, archers fire. 8 go down. Granny Trogbane throws a muffin out of her basket that explodes in a wooden spike explosion somehow.
Yes.
Fran stands up, looks out over the crowd, casts a fire bolt, which is what, D6?
It's firebolt is 1d10.
1d10, alright. Fran takes out 3. Back to back with Hollard, who casts in the other direction. That's another firebolt. Takes out 4. Larissa gets up on the pedestal with the archers. Grabs the bow from one of them. Fires for another d10. Taking
You're
out
like, not like
1.
that, like this.
She's like this!
1.
And she misses and hits 1. She's like, okay, not like that. And that's the attrition damage. Next up's Norion.
I'm gonna firebolt the bundle of joy that crossed through with his mage hand.
Alright.
Yep.
Give me the fireball damage.
I just realized the audio's not coming through the music
it's
for you,
paused.
Troll.
Hang on, yeah. I gotcha.
27 damage, by the way, and then the entire it's a 20-foot radius that occurs in, so the forest line is now on fire.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Another explosion.
You see again another like spark of fire go up from my finger, and then giant explosion, and then all of a sudden like the forest is starting to catch on fire.
Alright, you said how
Yep.
many? 27?
27, yeah, for the initial.
Jesus, those are OP.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Beefree
those are
says a
pretty hard.
prayer for the trees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The trees are proper on fire now. This entire north side's about to get real dicey. Alright, help me tally this.
We should have 232 gnolls left.
Alright, thank you, sir. Let me erase. This is much easier than doing this on paper. I used to do this on paper.
God. And you
Plus,
can't
I
erase
can
it.
see it. Exactly. So I just got like 3 pieces of paper that are really messed up. Alright.
So how fast do you think this fire is spreading?
So far, I mean, I'm gonna give it spread, right? But each round is 6 seconds, so I mean, like 30 seconds isn't a lot of time for a fire to spread.
I don't know. That was a pretty big explosion.
It was 20 feet in radius.
Yeah, is on fire, right? Immediately, and then it's going to start to spread.
I think we should quantify that though to know how many rounds before the
Sure.
entire ring.
I will
So
give you
control flames. Good.
I'll give you every round 5 feet.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Control flames can do 5 feet, well, in each direction. So if it's spreading, it should be like 10 feet total, but 5 feet to the left, 5 feet to the right of the tree line.
I mean, it's going to spread radially.
Cool, that works for me.
All right. So top of the round, Hildar, you're up. What are you doing?
Sure, can you draw like a little compass on the far left or something so we know north and all that? That way I can tell
Sure.
direction.
Eat sour waffles.
Ah, mine is never eat soggy wheat bix. I'm going to go west north and fire a bolt of my bow.
Okay. Let's have your damage.
I gotta pull up the page again. For some reason it closed. Sad face. Where is it? Where'd I go? There it is. Open, open, open. You see me panicking with my bow.
Elder's browser's been drinking.
Yeah.
Just fumbling with it, trying to get the arrow loaded. Keeps dropping it.
Yep. I just dropped it. Let's see. It's a hit. Let's see.
No, just give me the damage.
Action.
You're going to hit them.
Oh, just damage.
Yeah, you're going to hit them.
Pshing.
Unless
I
you
got
shoot
5.
yourself in the foot. You got 5? Okay. So bolt or an arrow goes flying out into the tree line, and you hit 5 gnolls.
And then how many die from fire spread?
Well, it's not their turn yet. Okay, now it's their turn. So I'm gonna say, per each direction of fire spread, I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna call it north, south, east, and west. Well, I'm not south because south is cleared, but north, east, and west. I'll call it 15. From the 20-foot spread. Get caught up, and you just hear them cry out, and bark, and squeal. That high-pitched squeal that dogs make as they cook. Secret roll.
No wonder you like the smell of that meat.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Right?
Oh my. Okay, that's a nat 20.
No.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Nat 20.
Let me make a couple of the rolls. Okay. All right. Well.
Jeez.
Yeah. You guys are in the midst of all of this kerfuffleness when seemingly out of nowhere a huge ball of grease lands right here, coating the entire area in sticky, slippery, disgusting, greasy goop.
Oh no.
With such force that it begins to break apart the wood constructing the palisade wall and filling
Question.
that part of the pit. Yes.
Would prestidigitation be able to remove grease?
How much can prestidigitation remove at a time?
Maybe like. Let's see. Spells.
So I'm gonna call this 20 gallons of grease.
It can do an area of 10 feet.
1
per...
cubic foot for cleaning.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
So
yeah,
how many gallons is in a cubic foot?
let's find out.
Because you guys may have to prioritize that. That won't be very long before it's a problem.
Yeah. Me and Taryn can team up on that.
I'd probably just break the dam, honestly. That should take care of the worst part of that.
Grease.
It's grease.
Flood some of it.
It's grease. What happens when you put water on a grease fire?
Yeah, I know. It would dilute it, was my
Said
point.
it's
But
10
maybe
cubic
not.
feet?
I said 1 cubic foot.
1 cubic feet. That's 7 gallons.
And how many gallons was there?
20.
20.
Okay.
So you
can clean
could,
it up.
yeah, you
You could get some of it.
I can't prestidigitation.
The two of you
So-
can, and Fran can.
Y'all are gonna have to prioritize that.
But we have
Yeah.
to get close. It's 10 feet of our range for.
Yeah, y'all have to
thingy.
abandon the front line and do this.
Yeah. Marry on.
It's getting hairy, Kaiju.
Oh yeah.
They have no idea what's coming. Not a clue.
Oh yeah. We're scared. We're GG.
Fran, clean up some of that grease.
Clean up some of that grease.
What?
What?
The grease on the northwest wall. Clean up as much as you can.
Okay, I'll get a mop.
And a bucket.
Next up
That's a
is
wop!
next up is Thievery. As the gnolls, seeing the payload land, stop approaching.
Uh-oh.
Alright.
Actually,
See
here's
you
what I'll
soon.
say. Here's what I'll say with the gnolls. This makes sense to me. They begin to spread out a bit more.
You should stream at least some of the map a little bit, so you can see the chaos.
I'll try. Let's see. I'm pretty much been saving them to pictures. So let me do it again.
So
I
the
wonder.
stream can just see the chaos.
Oh yeah. All right. Here's what's going on. We got. Oh, it's not gonna work. A lovely grease fire in the. I'm sorry. A lovely grease splotch in the top left corner of the.
The
of
green
the fortress. Yep. The huge fireball explosion that occurred right in the center of the incoming onslaught. The red lines along the outside are the encroaching gnolls. And everyone else is in the middle trying to make things work. Yeah, so I can just save it and then update it. It's a horrible map. Don't placate me.
Alright, I'm gonna use my short bow again. And it's gonna take out 9.
-9, you got it.
And then I'm gonna use my bonus action, it's Archer Starry Form, and take out an additional 6.
Okay. All right.
For future discussion, I might be able to put it out with Sleet Storm, but it's gonna take one of my 3rd level spell slots, and I only get 2.
Yeah, hang on to that for now if you can. We'll try and clean it up. Between if Fran listens to me, then we should be able to get it taken care of before the gnolls go again.
All right. Next up is everyone else. -8. The archers all fire into the encroaching gnolls, and Gurney Knollbane pulls out a kitchen knife and just kind of throws it over her shoulder, and it lands in the eyeball of a gnoll.
Nice.
And
And then another one just dies from fear.
Fran stands up, rushes over to the greased up corner of the map, and begins to prestidigitate it away. It's going to take 3 of these to get this grease spot gone.
I got to add in the video.
No problem. Appreciate it, Kaiju. That's Fran's turn. Hollard is going to... He's going to cast another firebolt. No, you know what he's going to do? Let's see. Let's make this interesting. He's going to cast Flying on Larissa. Who's going to take off. And Larissa's turn, she's going to grab another barrel and fly it out over the battlefield. And drop it right here.
Oh no, right next to the grease.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
not right there.
Oh.
Right here.
There we go.
Okay.
That works.
Further
Set the
away.
tree line on fire. Perfect.
Yeah. That's their turn. Norion, you're up.
I'm going to have Don Quixote run me over to the grease. I'm going to prestidigitate another, third of it, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'm going to stand up on Don Quixote and use meta magic to double up on, use 2 slots of that to cast Firebolt on the recently dropped present.
All right. Give me the fireball damage.
Music stopped.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
19. 19 for the Fireball.
Oh, gosh, I ran out. Okay. 19 for the fireball. Big, stinky, hulky fireball engulfs 19 gnolls as the roaring fire can now be overheard from every corner of the map.
Jeez.
So that also increased the range because now we have a second 5x5x5.
Wow.
Bye, Adam.
It's still on the left.
Bye.
All right, Adam. Thanks for coming
Second 20 radius, 20 foot radius.
You know what? I'll double it. We'll say 10, 10, 10. We'll say 30.
Okay.
On
Because
their
I'm
turn.
trying to figure out how many turns it's going to take for the entirety of us to be surrounded by fire in case we have to start putting things out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So let's say fire has grown this far out this way. And it started to boil the creek that is passing.
The
by.
water.
Next on
Yeah, we should probably bridge that dam now.
Yeah, next on the order is you, Hildar.
It is me. Let's see. Where am I at? Where can I be? I'm gonna go to the grease and precipitate.
Okay.
As much as I can, obviously.
Yep.
This should be the last of it.
That's the last of it. The grease has
I'm
been
going,
prestidigitated away.
and that's all I can do because that's an action.
You have bonus actions. You're a rogue.
He does.
True. There's nothing I can really do though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I can dash, disengage, or hide. If I hide, well, I don't know. Where am I
And
hiding?
there needs to be 3 prestidigitations, right?
He got him.
We've done it.
That's all of it.
So you could dash back to where you were, so that you're in prime spot to fire over the wall.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll
you do
dash
that.
back. I run back.
All right. Next up is
The
Nolos,
no.
who take
It should be down to 1. Oh, yeah. There you go. Go for it.
30
Oh
hits
my.
of
Jeez.
fire damage from the literal wall of flames that has appeared out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Haven't even had a cast Wall of Flames yet. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The encroaching gnolls from the south get closer
Ooh.
and start to say 5, 10 of them fall into pits and disappear, while the rest clamber over their corpses. They are now abreast with the pit. And secret roll.
Secret roll.
All right. The rumbling gets a little closer.
It should be down to 130, by the way.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm gonna tell you what I want to do, and then you tell me if it would work. I want to use shape water to create a wedge between that 5-foot gap and push it through to start filling the pit.
Here?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, sure. That's fine with me.
All right.
So the pit starts to
And-
fill with water.
Yep. So that's where all the palisade is. I'm going to use my bonus action Starry Form Archer. And I'm going to hit 6 baddies.
Okay. 6 gnolls get popped, fall down. A couple of them face first into the water. Boop, boop, boop. Is that your turn?
Noise.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Alright, next up's everyone else. -8. Archers start firing. Fran stands up. Fran stands up.
Fran stands up.
She's going to cast Magnify Gravity, which
Sorry,
will
what
do
now?
2d8 damage on a spot that she chooses, right here.
Bro.
It's force damage. It is going to pull them to the ground.
Squish.
Squish.
Doing almost maximum damage. Fran is good at this, guys.
Jeez. Yeah.
Boy.
-15.
How does that spell work?
So what it does is, oh, wrong one. What it does is in a 10-foot radius, creatures who fail con save, which I'm gonna make them fail, take 2d8 force damage, and speed is half to the end of the next turn. And if you, okay, yeah, no, that's it. And if they wanted to pick anything up, they wouldn't be able to because it's pulled to the ground. Does that make sense?
Yes.
only
Is
lasts
it
for
only
1
a
minute.
one-turn effect, or
Yes,
is it like
one turn.
Moonbeam where it? Okay.
Yeah, it's just 1 turn. So a giant black orb appears on the battlefield as it squishes. Nice. As it squishes them into the ground. Welcome to the stream, Tape. We're killing gnolls.
Welcome to the stream.
En masse.
We're destroying. Yep.
And that's everyone's turn. Well, no, I'm sorry. Hollard. Hollard is, he's going to abstain this time.
What about Larissa?
Larissa is still flying and is going to let out a hoot and a holler to guide you.
Colonel,
As she
trying to
aims
sneak
her
around,
crossbow,
but I'm dummy
fires
thick,
it down at the
and
crowd.
the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guard.
Takes out 3.
I'm disappointed Holler doesn't give an inspirational speech for his turn.
He's terrified. He's scared for his wife. He's doing everything he can to survive this.
All right, it is time, everyone. It is the time. It is the time you have all been waiting for. It is the world's most powerful spell that is being cast now.
Oh god.
We are going to build a 60-foot wall of flame in the southeast, right in front of the trench. So the water is on the cool side. The hot side is facing the knolls, and it curves around the trench with it for 60 feet. It's
Wait.
20 feet high.
You want to
It
do
scorches
it inward?
everything. What's that?
You want to do it inward?
No, I'm doing it facing outward towards the knolls.
Okay, so from here.
Because, yes,
Okay.
exactly. So that extends 10 feet, and also sets all the sticks we've got in there on fire as well, which will probably be another 5 feet of radius each.
Oh my. Jesus. Flamethrower.
Alright, give me the damage, sir. And add
Oh
plus
my.
5 to it.
So the initial damage is 26,
Okay.
and then what are we adding to it again?
5. So 31.
31. Yep. So yeah, 31.
Great.
Oh my. So
And the
all
whole
we
area is
see
basically
this
inaccessible
wall.
now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how far has our fire spread around the walls
So we're
so
gonna get
far?
it 5 more feet in both directions. Well, you can't tell past this line, but we're gonna give it 5 more feet here. Since there's no one over here, I'm not gonna worry about that. So our new
Look at that.
tally is
That
46, 52, 63. 130 minus
Damn.
63. Help me with the math there.
I've got 67 from what I had, unless I say.
I just did it in my
I
head.
think
It's
that
probably
math-
67.
How long has it been since we started the battle?
It's been about 3 minutes. Probably not even that.
Jeez. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're
It's
been
already
like
wiped out
30
most
seconds.
of them.
Oh yeah, but 3 so yeah. Six
That's
seconds
because
per.
we burned these people's
Oh, I see. We
houses
have
to the
67
ground.
left. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of squirrels are going homeless after this.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna assume that I used talk to animals at some point before the long rest, and I told them, "Hey, get the fuck out of
You
here."
didn't tell me that. You did not use
I
those
said
words.
I'm
on me.
going to assume.
You can assume
Does
whatever
it
you
make
want. Okay. We have 67 remaining on. Not minus. That's dumb. To your knowledge, the gnolls are still coming. Kildar, you're up. You see a back line here. The rest of them are pretty well crispy.
I'm going to cast Wild Beast. No, don't even know that.
Gonna cast instant
Um,
death.
Instant death. There's nothing I can really do, so I'm going to use my bow and
Alright.
shoot northeast
Let's
into
have
that
it.
fire. Let's see. Inventory actions. Short bow. Firing.
Okay.
We have
6.
talked to animals earlier in this campaign, and a lot of it involved, "I'm in a cyclical hell."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The poor rats. Oh god.
I love this. Tapes the comment.
6 gnolls, from what you can hear, go down because you can't see through the towering wall of flame
Yeah.
and ash that
I'm
is
just
erupting into the sky.
I'm just
Yeah.
assuming that I hit something.
All right. Null's turn.
They're gonna try to go through the wall.
You guys hear a familiar
Oh no.
spring-loaded thwop
Not again.
as a ball of grease lands here
Oh no.
What is... Oh no.
and
Oh
splatters,
no.
covering this
Oh.
guy too.
Oh no. That's not good.
And from out of the clearing, you know what? We're just gonna do it. From out of the clearing steps a purple glowing gnoll, slightly larger than the
Oh,
rest, with
Oh, no.
spikes sticking out of his back, walking
Alright.
through the fire.
Jeez.
He raises his cane totem up into the sky and extinguishes all of the fire in front of him.
Oh.
There seems to be some sort of wall of force around him. These gnolls lose their momentum, fall into the fire. What's the wall of fire damage?
Yeah.
Calculating.
Oh, okay.
18.
Kaiju.
Okay. 18 gnolls
You-
who can't stop running because they're running too fast, fall on top of one
Yeah.
another, and before they even realize they're on fire, begin to suffocate.
Yeah. Kaiju redeemed nothing. No.
Nothing's the best
much-
redemption I have.
How much goop landed?
Another 20 gallons.
Oh, well.
About a catapult's worth.
Nice.
So again, the three of you
Yep.
are going to have to.
Oh
once
no, I
again-
have a better idea of how to handle this one.
Don't you dare set that on fire.
No, well, after a fashion.
Next up is Vivri.
Oh boy. Okay.
It's about to get critical mass here unless you guys do something real quick.
I'm going to cast Spike Growth
Okay.
in the pathway of this big boy.
Okay.
So once again, 20-foot radius.
All right. You gonna put
Gonna
it
make-
in front of him so it's just in front of him?
Yes.
All right.
So 20-foot radius. That earth underneath was still rough terrain, so it's double rough terrain.
Sure.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to once again fire. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it at Big Boy.
For anyone who's curious, this is how horrible the map looks right now. Big boy in the upper right corner who has instantaneously snuffed out about 20 feet of fire all around him and is approaching.
So I'm gonna assume that he has more than one as his hit DC.
I'll let
So
you
I went
assume
ahead
whatever
and
you want.
well, because I already went ahead and rolled
Okay,
or my hit dice, so I got a 17,
that's a hit.
and then I'm gonna do 5 damage.
Great. So you fire. This is your, what is it?
Starry form archer, so it looks like a shooting star.
All right, what's the damage type?
Radiant.
Cool. So you fire this starry, shooting star, radiant bolt, and it looks like it collides with the force wall that he's projecting and pierces straight through. It hesitates for a second, almost like the light flashes, and it soars into his shoulder, dealing 10 damage.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Bonus
Means
radiant.
It's gonna have a high hit.
Means you are going to be McDeeps.
Don't talk about my horrible battle map like that. All right, so grabs at his shoulder and hisses at you. Is that your turn?
Yep, that's all I can do.
All right, next up.
Besides, get that stuff cleaned up.
Next up's everyone else. Uh,
Fran, catapult it.
Catapult. Fran doesn't know
Yep.
catapult. You have one catapult scroll, and you gave it to Hollard, who used it earlier.
Fran doesn't know catapult.
Fran does not know
Yeah.
catapult.
Which there are 4 barrels in there. It would be much better
There are 3.
to
There's 3 left.
prestidigitate as much of that oil as you can.
Fran's like, I don't
Oh,
have
nice.
a catapult.
Is that where the barrels
Yes,
are?
yes, it is.
Oh, that's gonna be a nuke.
So what, wait, you cut out. What do you want Fran to do?
If you don't have catapult.
Aaron, stop trying to shout into the mic and just talk.
Oh, sorry. Fran, get rid of the gunk.
So Fran prestidigitates a third of the gunk away, revealing a barrel. Next up, I did the archers, didn't I? No, the archers
Nope.
take their aim, they fire. We take down 8. Granny Noelbane picks up her shoe, hurls it over the wall, hits one of them square in the face, who gets blinded and walks into a spike, impales himself.
I like how that's a flaming shoe too, 'cause she threw it through the flame wall, right?
Yep, you got it. Next up is Hollard, who is going to... Let's see, what can he do? I had his stuffs pulled up. Do. Yeah, okay, that's fine. He's going to stand up and he's going to cast Frostbite on the closest knoll he can see. You know what? No. He's going to cast on the big guy. He's going to cast Frostbite on the big guy and do 1d6. And he's going to take 2 damage. Alright. Hollard looks a little disappointed, as he felt that should have done a bit more, as the guy kind of just brushes off the frost that is on his fur.
Hey, was this the big guy that he tried to hit?
Mm-hmm. And that was everyone's turn. Next up's Norion.
Alright, I'm going to catapult one of the barrels that has stuff on it still, because Fran has sensibly cleaned at least one of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to send it through the flame wall at the remaining knolls,
Okay. You send it through the flame wall. Does it
which should
land?
cause both catapult damage and fireball damage.
Alright, let's have it.
So the catapult damage is 19,
Okay.
and the resulting fireball damage is 24. I knolls.
Jeez.
Okay. Help me calculate. I know it's probably over, but let's do it anyway for poops and laughs.
Yeah, they're gone. They disappeared to 0.
What's the negative?
75.
Oh, it's 75? Alright, so it's negative
So hold it.
7?
8.
8, okay. Alright, so the last visible battalion of gnolls is lost to the fire.
Oh, I don't like the way you said visible.
Oh.
The last battalion that you can see, is that better? Disappears to the fire explosion. And Norhyeon, is that your turn?
We have now increased the spread around the tree line.
You certainly have.
We have, yeah.
So now
Yeah.
we're out to here, and this is out to here.
And that because the barrel was covered like everything, I think that also hit the tree line on the southeast too. Oh, I see where you're showing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the question is Big Boy came behind, but the one fire next to him is still spreading. Is that flame spreading behind him so that he can't retreat?
Yeah, you can say that. It's definitely spreading
You
radially.
could say that.
Essentially, this is what it looks like right now.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, you did
Oh.
this.
Oh yeah. The trees don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that raft's looking real nice right now.
Oh yeah, that escape is gone now.
It's not.
Wasn't
Yeah,
in the river.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
It's right here.
Oh, it's in the middle. Oh, okay.
They're flying out of here.
Top
Is
of
the water safe?
top of the order is Hildar.
Okay. I'm going to on the grace.
You're gonna okay, cool. That's the
Get rid
second
of that.
prestidigitation on the grease.
Well, we lost some of the grease because I literally took a whole barrel, so that should be, and I was like a little bit left on
Yeah,
the
I'm not
guy,
giving
maybe.
you that.
Uh
I'm not giving you that. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. There's enough grease on it for one. And there's
I'm
two
going
barrels.
to dash away as my bonus action away from it just in case.
You're gonna dash away from it instead of dashing to grab the one barrel and move it? So at least only one barrel will go up, because there should be two there.
Yeah, you should use your action. I 100% suggest. Well, you did. You used it to prestidigitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
I can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't-
I'm just going to disengage from it. I don't want to get close.
Okay.
Because if it blows up, I'm done.
blows up. All right.
Yeah.
Next up is our null buddies. Okay.
Hey, Trog,
Yeah.
watch this. Look in the redeems.
Wait, hang on. I can't see it.
oh no.
Oh
I've
my
been saving
god.
it.
All
I've
right.
been saving it.
So who do you want
Yes.
this on?
Who I want this on?
Yeah.
Granny.
Granny. Okay. All right. So it's a D100 and a D20. So Hildar Cross has redeemed Wild Magic Surge, which we're going to do as a D100. But then there
For the
are
first time.
severities. Yeah, first time on the stream. So there are several severities to this that I will also roll. So here we go. First up is the D100. Which is 30. Okay. The 10 to get the number. 30. Is that a 9? Yes, 39 is the roll. Then I'm going to roll a D20 for the severity. 1. Alright. So it was 39. Let's see what that is. 39 with a roll of 1 being extreme. You are vulnerable to plants for 1 hour. Such creatures gain advantage when attacking you. That is what you got.
Yeah.
Granny suddenly sees grass, panics, falls to her knees, and curls into a fetal position. That was the roll.
What have we done?
I thought that was a
Good thing
power
it's
up.
all on fire.
A leaf
yeah.
lands on her, and she starts gasping for air. I don't know. Next up is the Knolls. I did the secret roll. It came out to what?
Suavemente.
Well, I thought.
Well, yeah.
12.
Que
Okay.
quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suavemente.
I'm gonna let that
Bésame.
pass because that's
Que quiero
hilarious.
sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suave.
So, our purple guy here looks around at the battlefield, sees that his forces have been depleted, goes down to one knee, and begins casting something.
Counterspell.
It's not your turn. You want to use your reaction? No one has used a reaction this entire time.
Yep, counterspell.
All right, counterspell. He stands back up, looks at you, and shakes his fist. Well, hang on. I'm pretty sure he's got something else.
I'm pretty sure he's trying to resurrect them.
Oh yeah.
This is what he's going to do instead, then. He's going to approach, taking your damage. Well, let me roll his perception first. See if he can see it. What's the DC save?
Or what? Counterspell?
No, for her thorns, 13, right?
Yes.
I want to establish that before I roll. Alright, he sees them, doesn't walk into them, and instead casts a fireball.
Uh-oh.
You know
No!
it. You know it, right?
No!
here. As this entire side of the village is engulfed in flame.
Can I counterspell that also?
No,
No.
use your reaction.
He got
Oh,
two
man.
actions.
He did.
I told
You're right.
you to not throw it and to clean it.
So
Should have taken a third of it out.
because she was cowering on the ground, Granny Nolbane's fine, but you do lose 2 archers and several villagers in the process. Not a horrible
And
trade.
also a fire that spreads.
Yep, and the fire that spreads now has almost completely encircled you guys.
Yeah.
All right, it's my turn. So I am actually going to cast Sleet Storm
Okay.
over where it is in the fire in the village.
Okay.
Sleet Storm it's a 40-foot cube,
Okay.
so it should cover everything on fire in the village.
Sure.
It's a concentration spell. It's gonna take me 1 action to do it, so I should be able to then use my bonus. So freezing rain and sleet fall in this cylinder, and all exposed rains are doused. The ground in this area is covered with slick ice and makes it difficult terrain. Anytime a creature enters the spell's area for the first time, or on a turn, or starts its turn there, it has to make a dex save.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that it's just rough terrain there now.
Yep.
That's
Next up is
All right.
everyone else, unless you're not.
well. I'm gonna take my bonus action.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So that's just to put out the fire in the town.
Yep.
Save our raft. All right. So now I've got an 18. I'm
To
gonna
hit.
fire at big boy. Oh, it's a 10.
Okay.
That's max damage.
Yeah. You fire it, and once again you see a blink, as if there was some sort of barrier there, and it strikes him on his other shoulder this time for 20 damage, as he falls to a knee.
Oh, that just did double damage.
Yep, it did double damage last time too. Your radiant is dominating him
Next up's everyone.
because he's probably undead.
And the archers fire, but none of the arrows seem to penetrate this barrier. And Granny just lays there and cries because the grass is touching her. Fran stands up and walks over to the barrier, and she casts Magic Missile, which all bounce off the barrier as well. That's literally the only
That's not
thing
good.
that will stop Magic Missile. Fran turns around and shouts, "What are we supposed to do now?" Hollard looks over to the raft and says, "Do we start crowding on? This fire's getting pretty intense."
Move the children over there.
Yeah, oh, right. Yeah, you say that, and the villagers start pouring out of the pavilion as they are looking around in abject terror, as literally everything around them is on fire. And then a part of the village is covered in both fire, ash, ice, and water, and it's very confusing.
Yeah.
As Larissa, who attempts to get an above shot on this last remaining Knoll guy, fires and sees that the barrier extends above him as well. That's everyone's turn. Norion, you're up.
I'm gonna speak. Fred, your magic missile not penetrating means this must be some kind of shield spell.
Yes.
That's it.
Fire should burn it. I'm going to use Scorching Ray as a second level spell, and I'm going to use my signet to add a +1 to the hit rating on each of the 3 shots for it.
All right, give me the hits.
12.
Nope.
You didn't come through. You got a 22.
Sorry, 22, and then hold on. 14.
Nope. 22 hits.
That is 6 damage.
Okay. 3 damage. You singe his hair. And he balls his fist at you again. Is that your turn?
Yeah, for now. Or yeah, sorry, not for now.
Hildar. Sir, you're up.
This is not good because if it's invulnerable to magic missiles and arrows, what the hell am I supposed to do?
You can help the people escape. You can...
No.
Okay,
You
well.
could try to stealth behind him.
You could pick his pocket.
No.
You could go out there.
No, I'm not getting close to him.
You're the only one who can.
I could, but
Maybe he's vulnerable to physical damage. You don't know.
What can I pick up with Mage Hand?
Holy water?
Do I?
He does.
You should, yeah.
Zaz let you keep it.
True. Mage Hand, holy water,
All
a
right.
bunch of them. Throw it at him.
All right, is that what you want to do? Give me the hit roll.
Yes.
Try to get
Probably just,
behind him.
Drop the holy water on him rather than relying on a throw, but
I'm throwing it.
But you don't know if it's gonna bounce off the shield.
That's a good thing. I'm gonna throw it still.
Do it.
Oop, shit. Drop my dice.
Give me the hit roll.
D20, yeah?
Yep.
Yeet.
Add your dexterity
I
modifier
rolled.
to it.
Oh, add my dexterity, okay.
Yeah.
It's
not technically a weapon.
+2.
Okay.
So, I rolled 16 in total.
Yeah, all right, yeah, you hit him. So yeah, the
Nice.
bottles, you expect them to shatter against this shield, but they kind of just pass right through. And
Oh, yeah.
he looks up at these bottles coming toward him, and they all just shatter all over him, and now he's covered in glass and water.
That's some get in his eye at least.
He makes a fist at you and shakes it.
Did he at least cast on disadvantage from the glass in his eyes?
No. All right. Secret roll. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna do my bonus action right away. I'm gonna stealth. Hide.
Okay. Give me the stealth roll with advantage.
Rup, rup. There's So how do I do the advantage thing again?
You just roll twice and take the big number.
Oh yeah, try. Alright. Roll. That is a 6.
Okay.
Next roll. That's better. Plus the 2. So I got 19 in total.
All right. You feel like you're pretty hidden.
You feel like you're pretty hidden.
Yeah. What did I get?
Alright.
7?
Yeah.
A large glob of grease lands in the fire, and the flames get hotter.
Damn. Where is he catapulting this from?
So, let's see here, because I know what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. How deep is this pit you guys dug?
Pretty deep.
it's like 15 feet at least, if not 20.
15 feet deep? Great. This purple boy
Oh no.
walks forward through your yuck. Go ahead and give me the damage for that.
Well, it depends. How many feet does he walk?
Let's say 10.
So he's gonna do double damage then.
Yep.
it. It is 2d4 piercing. So 4d4.
44. All right, give me the roll.
9.
Okay. All right. So he walks through it, and he drops 15 feet into this pit. He's gonna take.
Boom.
It's hang on, fall damage again. Is
There's also spikes in the pit.
okay. 1d6. So we'll do 3d6. Okay. We'll call the spikes. We'll give them dagger damage. We'll say 3d4. Oh, almost max damage. 11.
Wow.
Alright, let me count this
What
up
does he
real
look
quick, because
like?
he may have just killed himself.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh my god. Y'all aren't gonna
Did he
believe
just
this.
kill himself?
No, he has 1 hit point left.
Oh man, Solar, it's teed up for you.
So describe what he looks like.
So this gnoll, who is dressed in this purple garb with a staff with a purple orb on it, walks through your spikes willingly, staring you guys down the whole time, and sloughs of his flesh are torn from his legs as he trudges through this, and then falls 15 feet willingly into a water-filled ravine onto spikes where he's impaled underwater, and then cast Mass Resurrection.
Oh,
Whoa.
fucking hell.
Oh
Wait,
shit.
counter spell.
You can't see him.
I can totally see him. I'm on top of Don Quixote looking straight down in that water. The water's not full
Get
yet.
out of here. You're so far away from this.
I'm like right there.
He's gonna
Yeah, I
gonna
thought he was
resurrect.
on top. To be fair, I did think he was on top of a palisade. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, but
You're
like
on
that
top of
gray
a
dot is where
platform. I follow these platforms.
I'm on top of the gray dot. I'm like literally right next to him.
You're right here. Alright. Okay. I'll tell you what, he's got a reaction too. He's gonna counterspell your counterspell.
So, I have to read counter spell now.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
What level of okay? So what level of spell was he? Because he could save technically. He's got a DC chance.
What's the save on counterspell? I didn't know how to save.
Yeah. So creature is casting a spell 3rd level or lower if the spell its spell fails or has. So if he's casting level 3 or lower, then it's got no chance. But if he's casting a 4th or higher level, then it's an ability check using spellcasting ability. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Let's see. Resurrection is hell. A 7th level spell.
Oh my.
So
So it'd be
what's the
DC 17.
Okay. I'll do it. Here we go.
Roll it.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. Because that's a critical one.
What?
I feel like at this point he tries to counterspell my counterspell. His counterspells his counterspell. The counterspells his spell.
So yeah, like all of a sudden there's this weird smell of chlorine in the air as all these counter spells go off. And this horrible necromancer bleeds out in the water.
So as he's bleeding and he's doing this, I'm gonna take this opportunity to of the confusion to fire.
Go ahead.
And so I have my guiding bolt, my free cast. I've got 17. Does it hit?
That's a hit.
So I'm gonna cast radiant damage,
Uh-huh.
and it's a 19.
Oh wow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jeez. You really
with,
want
with one hit point that doesn't kill him. No. Yeah, so what's that look like?
So I'm gonna jump up in the air, and I am going to pull back my bow and it's going to start to glow with the light of the moon and all its fury, as I have said a prayer to both Nox and Artemis to guide my bow. And I am going to fire as both the light and dark sides of the moon seem to be competing in this bolt as it fires straight down at him.
Awesome. And he, the trench lights up with this brilliant, bright white luminosity. So much so that you have to look away as you look back down into the pit where he is no longer there. You've disintegrated this thing.
Oh my god.
His staff floats up to the top. Boop.
Boop. My
Wait,
god.
somebody play Final Fantasy music.
Do, 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 do.
It's kind of.
I have a better one.
I am a Circle of Stars druid, so
You guys have solved my Null Invasion puzzle. Congratulations.
You're.
I feel like we more survived than solved.
Yeah.
You guys lost very minimal, very minimal
Yeah. Yeah.
I
casualties
think
here.
the villagers beg to differ.
Well,
I
you
mean, if
lost,
Fireball was getting cast there, they were dying anyway.
yeah, that was not pretty.
We
All right.
forgot about the fire.
No, we haven't forgotten. We haven't had a chance to react yet.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna come and pick up this staff because I don't want to leave that there. I think.
Oh, I was going to do the same thing.
You should be controlling flames.
I was focused on the staff first. I'll work on Flame second.
I got the staff.
All right, so
No,
what's
As long-
yeah,
happening?
don't worry about it. You get the flames under control. You're the fire guy. You
Fire
go
is-
do the fire things.
Has collapsed where the shield was, and there's now you guys are completely encircled by fire.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about the staff later, but yeah, I'll work on the control flames now. But just start control flaming anything that's close to the village, and we'll start snuffing out.
This is a lot of flame. I don't know if we're gonna control it.
You need to start taking a bucket and start throwing water
There is water
Into
in the
what?
trench, so go grab a bucket.
anywhere.
Still flying,
Everyone.
Larissa starts grabbing people up by their arms and take them over to the raft.
Fran, you get the people above.
Wait, what?
Fran, get the people on the raft and start being above.
yeah. Fran, Hollard, Harmony even comes out. They're all ushering everyone over to the raft.
I am going to cast Sleet Storm again
Okay.
at a spot in order to try to take out as much fire as close to the edges of the town as possible. We do have that fire line. So,
The fireball has stuffed out, by the way, by now, so
Yeah.
that should go away.
so if we can get that area of dirt where we've built out a trench for this very situation put out, then the town should survive.
Okay, so where do you want it put out?
That spot that's closest on fire to the people,
In the south and the north?
pick one.
Okay.
They're both pretty close.
Alright, so you get this out. Is that what you wanted?
Yes.
Okay. Gildar, what are you doing, man?
Grab a bucket.
Grab a bucket. Okay, yeah. Gildar jumps up on one of the palisade walls and throws an entire bucket over the wall.
You can use your mage hand to go and like just grab water and throw it, grab water and throw it, grab water and throw it.
That too.
Perfect.
I'm gonna
exactly
do
what
that.
he thought.
I'm gonna start using shape water.
Yep.
Which it also says that I can freeze the water
Sure.
as long as no creatures are in it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna start throwing frozen water from the
I think
trench.
there's a name for frozen water.
Well, I have to throw the water and then freeze it.
Okay.
I'm not just throwing ice chunks. I'm
You
not
can throw
throwing
snow. Okay, I got you.
Slush. It's slush.
You're throwing freezing rain. I got you.
There.
to start saturating the soil all around.
By the way, if
the
y'all can't
external.
hear the stream, y'all are missing out.
I don't
I just
hear
have the sound of a roaring fire playing.
I don't hear anything on the playlist anymore.
That's not on the playlist. I paused it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, you guys start running around like crazy trying to keep control of this fire, and you're doing a pretty good job. And then a secret roll happens.
Oh no.
Because you guys... Oh my god, you're so freaking lucky. You see as another huge plume of fire appears here. And it
What?
begins to become more threatening. Tate,
Oh, no.
thank you for following, man. I don't know why my sound didn't play. It makes me a little sad. Maybe it will in a second. It's really loud and obnoxious. Maybe it is now and I just can't tell. Thanks for following! Yeah, this is our D&D campaign we do every Saturday. Yeah, so things are burning pretty fast. Y'all need to GTFO like right now. The Great Mother comes out. Yeah, I was looking, I'm like, what is that? I don't oh, I know what that is. The Great Mother comes out in her cane and she's walking towards the raft as everyone begins boarding it. One last hurrah. What are we doing here, guys?
I'm escaping. Get onto the raft.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
y'all
I'm
are...
gonna get onto the raft.
Alright, y'all are
Can I get to the
There's
raft?
the sound. There's the sound. That probably went off twice. Yep, so you guys start paddling onto the raft. Tons and tons of people on this thing, minus a handful who unfortunately perished in the fiery explosion. And it's looking pretty grim. He looks great with that
Defiant.
hat on. Do you see the hat? The fishing pole. That's his rapier.
Yeah.
with the rat poking out of the hat because it's a vermin hat. I'm surprised you
Yeah,
didn't
you
throw
see
the
the
rat
rat.
at the guy.
Vermin.
Honestly, Hildar.
Should've.
You probably would have made it through. Instead,
Yeah.
you threw bottles at him.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Holy water.
you guys
Well,
are
we
piling-
learned he wasn't undead, didn't we?
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys pile onto this raft.
Um.
It's looking pretty overloaded, and Fran begins to cast flying. She's having a hard time
No,
getting
she's
it.
not. Because I'm going to give her my inspiration, which is going to let her cast it at a crit.
Okay, well, all right, let's do it. Critical inspiration. So you see Fran grab onto what is hastily scrawled as the mast and begin trying to channel the flying spell into this raft, and she's struggling. She's having a really hard time. And she's starting to panic. She knows that the fire is getting bigger, and the walls, the palisade walls, are starting to catch flame. You can hear the steam from the brook, nearby brook, start to boil away. And Beaver, you walk up behind her. What do you do?
I just go, Fran, you have already survived with the light of Artemis. She will help you now too. Just have faith.
Fran looks back over her shoulder at you, and she gives you a slight nod as you put your hand on her shoulder, and she redoubles her efforts as the raft begins to lift into the air. There are cries of startlement from the villagers who have never experienced flight before. Some of them are grabbing onto one another. People are starting to lose their calm. Zoldar, what are you doing to calm people down?
I was going to do something else, but no, that would make them even more panicked. I'm going to do minor illusion of flowers onto the raft.
Okay.
Have a look at this.
We're falling to our deaths, but look, flowers.
And the kid goes, "Mommy, mommy, mommy."
Well, yeah, no, okay, so here's the thing, right? The little girl who has been close to you and you didn't even realize it grabs onto your pant leg and she gives you another flower. And all of these flowers that you put down on the raft begin to multiply rapidly. And people start to take notice, and it calms them down significantly. The raft begins to raise higher into the air, and you guys can look down at the scene of carnage as you begin to lift off into the air. And Fran's like, "Where am I taking this thing?" And she begins to shakily position the raft to fly. And Norion, off in the distance, you see it. The ugliest, largest catapult you've ever seen in your life, and it's priming for fire. What do you do?
Oh no!
How far away is it?
Close enough to do whatever you want.
Oh, hell yeah. We're gonna fireball from my staff on it.
Let's do it.
So 150 foot range. Alright. Doing the damage now. 20 foot radius of fire, 31 fire damage.
What does that look like?
So I see this giant, ugly catapult preparing to fire again. And I've been trying to control flames still in the meantime, and I just go, screw this, grab my staff, point it at the catapult, and you just see an eruption of fire right where the catapult stood. It just explodes.
Got some
Wood and
fish
whatever
that
else is.
rain down everywhere. The crowd cheers upon seeing the destruction of this huge machine as you guys lift off northwards towards the mountains, triumphantly away from the only home these people ever knew.
Does anybody have a cup?
Yes. Yes, I have a mess kit. Here's a cup.
I pour honeyed mead into the cup. Pass it around.
That's okay.
The little girl grabs it and takes a sip. She spits it out and hands it to Hildar.
Goop. I gulp it down.
That's alcohol. Just so you know.
Days sober 0.
She hands it back to you, Avery. Tastes like fish. Everyone starts
That's
to laugh.
interesting. There's no fish in it. It's just honey.
Maybe she's
Don't
had
worry.
some weird
Honey
fermented
mead has
fish.
very low proof, so Yilder should be okay.
All right. Well, golly, that's session 10, you guys. You're
Well,
live.
Yeah. You should show the map one more time.
Oh my
just to
god.
show
All
how
right,
much.
sure. Let's show them what the map looks like now. God. Okay, here we go. So yeah, fire everywhere, except for in the blue places, but it's probably back by now. But hey, they slew an army of gnolls.
350 gnolls.
450.
450.
450
Plus
gnolls.
large goy.
Yeah, plus big guy.
Plus whoever was manning that catapult.
Yep. They also exploded. Phew. That was intense. I didn't
That was
expect that to be
spicy.
as intense as it was. He killed himself. That was hilarious. I was trying to be clever. I was like, you know what? He won't be able to. And you're like, but tall. And I'm like, 15 feet. And I was going to be like, math, 15-foot angle. Give me slope. But then I was like, you know what? No. Let's just bury it. And so we buried it. It was good.
To be fair, I was already geared up for that killing blow, so and
That's
everything
cool.
else was already on fire, so I'm pretty sure he just would have resurrected them into flames.
That's okay. Because they wouldn't have been alive when he resurrected them.
Yes,
is true.
but they wouldn't have stayed like corporal very long. They would have been cremated.
Yeah.
It would have been long enough. And that's okay.
That sounds like I would have had enough counterspell for what would need to happen there.
I desperately wanted you guys to fight off burning gnoll skeletons who were climbing over the walls. I so badly wanted that for you.
Nope.
I saved all my level 3 spell slots for counterspell to avoid just such a fate.
I'm going to have to remember this encounter for future encounters.
Trog will remember this.
Thank goodness that I have radiant damage as my default damage.
That was good stuff. All right, what did you guys think?
God. That was chaos.
Pan wants in on it. I think that Norheon is at the third town he's burned down.
Yeah. Listen, you would have been fine if it wasn't for that Knoll catapult.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Yeah.
Hey, we're living up to our name.
So, yeah, I mean, like, do you just set fire to everything everywhere you go? Is that like a default setting for you?
We're called Burn Unit.
Oh boy.
Burn Unit.
Yeah, you are.
Trog has to start working on his introductions, but since we do have new people in the stream and there's possibly people lurking who haven't said anything, you should tell people about yourself.
Great. Hey, I'm Trogbane. I usually stream VR, but recently we've had Saturdays free for Dungeons and Dragons, so we've been doing that. We've been doing Dungeons and Dragons almost 3 months now. We're on session 10, so it's once a week. So yeah, 10 weeks. That's pretty hot stuff. Up here to my right, to your left, is Vivery Serum, played by Solar Eclair, who coincidentally does all the art for my channel. Say hi.
Hello.
Down here to my bottom right, your bottom left, is Norheon. I'm not going to try your last name.
With S.
There it is. Also known as Tearing Up. Longtime gamer companion and husband to Solar Eclair.
Woo woo.
And then there's this dwarf over here.
With a rat hat.
With a rat in a hat. Hildar Trollax, also known as one of my better friends, Crossforth.
Hello.
Who I've known since, 2016? Something like that?
Yes. We used
to play Space Engineers together. But, yeah, he streams with me sometimes. Most of the time, I refer to Solar as the voice in my head.
Yeah.
She's basically my agent at this point. But, yeah, we stream Saturdays. It has been every Saturday since we started. So this is, the third one?
Yeah, it's been enough that you should update your schedule on Twitch so it just says that we do it.
Yeah. And we've got Don Quixote up there in the top right corner. And Fran, the Planking Wizard.
Yeah. Who can fly?
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. That was a whole bunch of crazy chaos. I had planned for this event to occur at some point, crashing into the forest after the murder on the Quartermain sort of fell into my lap this way, and worked out almost exactly like I wanted. I desperately wanted you guys to be fighting off a bunch of undead gnolls, but that's okay. It turned out for the better. And you guys had some really cool heroic moments, and that's what matters. And plus, Fran's still alive. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we are going to stop stream here and probably have a post chat and then some other things. But yeah, thank you everyone who followed. Specifically you, Tape. You were really cool all up in here. Kaiju, as always, who pretty much sticks through the entirety of our streams, which is wild because they're between 6 and 8 hours long.
We are trying to curb our game time on Saturdays to go from about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to roughly midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Give or take a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. But for other random streams that might come to pass, Trog also loves to do VR chat, Phasmophobia in VR, sometimes Forewarned, and other assorted VR games. So if there's a VR game that you particularly like and you want to give recommendations, he's always open to them.
True story. I have a YouTube as well. You can see some of my past stuff there. I did a lot of shorts recently. I say recently, it was like 2 years ago, but still. Yeah, no, we like fun here. We have a good time. And we have a community of other folks who stream with us. Adam, who was around here earlier, whose screen name I forget. Adam Optimistic. There it is.
Hold on, I'll do some shout outs.
Yeah, let's do it. Do some actual shout outs. That'd be cool. Can you do those?
Shouting.
Just, ah! Ah! Like Granny Nolbane, who touched grass and had some panic.
Yep.
She must be very happy we're on the raft in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, trees are plants too, so she's probably like just screaming the whole way, and everyone's like, "Shut
The
up!"
jet log.
You have to cast silence on her. Fran's just staring her down.
I have to wait a minute 45 before I can do mins.
Oh, really? That's sad.
Oh,
Wait, I wonder if I
let's
can
see.
do it. Where do I do it?
/ shout out, and then username.
Do I have to put it in those brackets?
I just typed their username.
What's Mins? M-I-N-U-E-T?
Minuet _ XO.
I still feel like I didn't spell that right.
So MINUET _ XO.
Yeah, 55
I have a
seconds.
minute.
Yeah, same. Okay, it won't let me. I don't know why not. Freaking
Yeah.
my
I have
channel.
to wait
That way.
60 seconds. So
Whatever,
just
bro.
go ahead and keep talking while I do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start throwing like a whole bunch of water and ice at you because you're just like, hey, you know what would be real cool?
Fire.
Fire. The next place y'all are going, it's all stone. That's everywhere.
Yeah, there we go.
In fact, if you
No, we'll
cast
find a
fire,
way.
you yourself become set ablaze.
Darren just combusts.
Here's a few other channel things that you may or may not be aware of if you're still around. We have bread loaves for channel points where you can redeem lots of fun things like sounds, but also underneath the panels you can find sound alerts that most are free to use, with the exception of air horns because they annoy the crap out of Trog.
They're horrible.
However,
They're so bad.
for every sub or resub, Taryn and I will reach into our own wallets and we will set off the 15-bit air horns. So if you like to cause torture, we will do that as an extra bonus.
It's good stuff.
Extra bonus.
We had our first redemption of Wild Magic Surge today.
Yep.
Cross made someone scared of plants. It's completely random and absolutely amazing. Some of those things are extremely detrimental. Cross, like one of them is cast Fireball center on yourself. So if she had done that with everyone else around her, that could have been really bad.
I didn't know it was a bad thing. I was
yeah.
like, oh, give us
no.
a power up.
It's completely random. It could be very bad. It could be very good. In fact, let me go. Let me do another roll now and see what it could have been.
Oh god. Let's see.
Let's see. So 18, and the severity is 8, which I believe is moderate. Okay, so 18 moderate. You and all creatures within 30 feet of you gain vulnerability to piercing damage for 1 minute. It means you take double damage from piercing damage.
Damn.
Yeah, 1 minute, it's an entire 6 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
10 rounds of combat, sorry, because they're 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I can
I
count.
got
Do you get the shout out? Yay! So man gets a shout out. Adam gets a shout out. Does
You owe me a
Kaiju, do
shout
you
out.
stream? I feel like you stream. Am I crazy? Once in a blue moon, right?
Who is it?
Kaiju.
I
Kaiju?
don't think
Yeah.
I've seen Kaiju stream for a hot minute.
Well, dang it. Jump on it. But yep, we're gonna cut it loose here. Thank you everyone for coming. If you're watching the VOD, well, thanks for that because not a lot of people do. It's pretty wild stuff. I watch them sometimes. It's hilarious to go back and listen. This one wasn't such a funny episode, but we did have some moments.
Oh yeah, you'll find them.
We had a
You
lot
find
of
know.
them
burn.
drunk.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Fran to have her confessional moment.
Don't mind.
You'll have to drag it out of her, kicking and screaming.
I don't know. She snuck into his room.
Oh my
All
god.
right. Thank you guys. We're gonna cut it here. Y'all have a great night or morning, since it's 12:39 in the morning over here.
Yeah.
But
Good night, friends.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.